started with 60 drivers, and now it's down to the final 12. Welcome everyone to the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals. It's the Porsche Cup. We're live from 24-hour Le Mans. My name is Golden Boy. Join with me, my main man, Ali. How you doing?
Yeah, good man. It's the morning after the night before, right? Yep. All these guys looking around. Who have they ended up in the game with? It's yeah.
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be epic.
It's gonna be great, guys. Just to let you know, I mean, it has been intense through and through. Like I said before, we had so many drivers coming through, 60+ drivers, but now down to that final group, and you saw it there. Will Lightning strike twice? Will he find himself on the top of the podium yet again, or will Lage manage to get that win in his home turf? But that's not even the only story here. Let's go ahead and talk about how we got here. Take a look at that first semifinal. As a matter of fact, semifinal in Group A. So Lage, dominating performance through and through, 200 points.
You can see it there, 8 out of 9 races. Lage came out, just came out and won.
It should be 225, but...
Well, that's it, right? That's the bogey race, right? At the end there, Lage started to show his fatigue. Yeah, he can be beaten. He's human, it turns out.
Yes,
who knew?
Yes, and interestingly enough, all these drivers here are dealing with the fatigue big time. Box is going to be another guy to look out for. Roadrunner, Virus, Zermatt, Force 1, representing F4H in this one. The lone F4H driver in this race, F4H well-known group. Car represented quite nicely in this competition. Yeah, I mean
it's that 6th place, F4H Force 1 and F4H Races just behind him. Those two are good buddies. They drive together a lot. Yep. It's a little bit of a heartbreak to see one of them getting through, the other guy not quite making the cut.
It's a heartbreaker indeed, but the good news is, though, you know, for Force 1, he continues to live on to drive another day. But let's go ahead and take a look now at semifinal B. This one was insane, top to bottom. Just to kind of, you know, let you guys see it there in 6 and 7. That's how close this was. Asics, one better run, one good race, and he could have been in this competition. Kaiser Wolf, though, will move on. Looking at the top, we have Lightning, Kriz, Rossi, Johnson, and Amarth. So many storylines coming into this one. For Lightning, can he win again? Can he be a 2-time champion? For GDC Kriz, redemption after New York. Rossi, the lone JSR driver, looking to keep it going. Johnson, one of the fan favorites. People know this guy for his personality, his boisterous personality. Could this be the opportunity that he was looking for? Ali, this is, it really, you couldn't write it any better.
You couldn't. I mean, those graphs, they don't quite show the tension that was happening last night, right? We had Lage winning every race. He was in Lobby A going first, ahead of Lightning. He lost that last race, and Lightning had his shot to get seed number 1 for today's final. But that last race for him as well, 0 points, nil points each, you know. It was so tense.
Oh man, then again, you know what? We'll go ahead, we'll talk more about this in a little bit. For now though, let's go ahead and check in with Brian, who has some updates for you guys. Brian, what's going on?
Hey guys, good morning. It's great to be here for the second day of our Season 3 Grand Finals here at Le Mans. Amazing. The cars have been running all night on the real track. The guys are here in the studio about to run their own race, and we're getting ready for this. And listen, if you're watching us on Mixer, on Twitch, welcome. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. It's great to have you guys here. Listen, we've got some special stuff today. In addition to the races, we've got some focus on the liveries that you guys are going to win. We're going to talk to some of the creators behind that live here at Le Mans. But listen, we're giving these liveries away, and we want you to have a chance to win them. To do so, all you have to do if you're watching us on Mixer is go to your Mixer account settings page, click link your Microsoft account, and you'll be good to go. If you're watching us on Twitch, you have to go to a URL that's forzaconnect.com/Twitch drops, enter your gamer tag, and you'll link your Twitch account. You will be in the running to get those amazing liveries that we're going to learn a little bit more about a little later in the show. Can't wait to talk to the artists who are here creating those liveries live. We'll be doing that a little bit later. In the meantime, back to the desk.
I have to say, it's an endurance race, not only for the, not only for the players, for the drivers, but it's also an endurance race for us as well. A lot of folks here really just running off of 1 to 2 hours of sleep, right? Man, that is the Le Mans experience, and that is what, honestly, I've done a lot of esports competitions in my career. Never have I ever done an event like this, ever. Like
it's the full Le Mans experience. You come here, you don't expect to leave with any energy left. Run that tank dry.
Draining.
Just drain it.
It just defeats you in every way, shape, or form. But you know what, though? It all comes down to raising the trophy over your head. That's what it is for these players. Let's go ahead and take a look now at the trophy, and we have so much more to come. So enjoy, but we'll see you on the other side.
We are here on the official podium at Le Mans, where the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Finals winner will be crowned champion. I cannot imagine what it will feel like to be standing up here as champions celebrating their win. These beautiful trophies are going to go home with the champions from the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Finals. Who will be the winners?
So not only do our drivers have the opportunity to raise a trophy over their head, but they have that chance to do so on the same podium that they're sharing it with the drivers here in Le Mans. That is fantastic. Like that is like a once in a lifetime experience.
It is. I mean, earlier this weekend, we got the chance to interview Stefan Johansson in front of the drivers, Le Mans winner himself and a very experienced driver. And it's such an honor to be able to get anywhere near that podium. To go and look at it is an honor. Standing on it is another thing altogether. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity, and these guys, they'll be psyched for it.
I mean, think about it like this, especially for a guy like Leish, I think, who actually does, karting. He does driving, on the side. He lives this lifestyle. So to say like, hey, I shared that podium here in France, in his home country, incredible stuff. So in any case, guys, we're gonna get ready for our first race in just a little bit. Don't worry, don't go anywhere, because we have plenty more coming at you. I'm excited. We're gonna be starting things off in Spa for the first race here. Porsche GT1, great car. But again, the pressure, the endurance that these drivers have to overcome. Some of them like slept 1 hour, 2 hours max. So it's getting to them here.
These are the best races on Forza Motorsport 6, and in order to make them make mistakes almost, you have to have them working this hard. You have to have them pushing through the night, playing and racing to a point where they can't work out what's going on.
Yeah.
And that's when you start to see the mistakes, and that's when you start to be able to tell the difference between the really, really good drivers and the absolutely great ones.
Well, funny enough, I had just a quick 5-second conversation with Lightning, and I was just like, hey, what happened in that last race there? And he was like, you know what, man, it happened. I just laughed. I laughed because there was nothing else I could do. And you know what? Not wrong, right? Like sometimes you just kind of have to deal with it, right? And just take it as it is.
It's the best attitude, isn't it? And it all comes down to sports psychology. You have to be able to just get yourself right back on there. You can make a little mistake. By the next corner, you have to be locked back in your rhythm, hooking up those apexes, making this track as quickly as you possibly can. And that's just the difference. This is one of those indicators, one of those things that shows the difference between a great driver and those who are really brilliant.
It's going to be intense. All right, so as we get ready for this race to begin, we mentioned before, it will be on Spa. Tell me about this track here, Ali, because we have, that first turn is probably the most telling thing. That is like where basically everything seems to just go wrong for so many people.
I mean, yeah, it's a very difficult first turn here. It's difficult to run in a pack through it, especially, and that's all about the maturity of the drivers. It's all about them being able to control their pace and say to themselves, you can't win a race on turn one, but you can definitely lose one.
Yeah, so I was told we have an awesome aerial shot here of the track here. So let's go ahead and take a look at that bad boy and enjoy that for a brief moment. So enjoy.
Okay, so we're on Le Mans. We've seen the cars going around the track, how loud they are, and what we're about to do is incredible. We're about to take a helicopter ride of the track. It's going to be amazing. What do you guys think?
This is the thing that we all want to do, see the track beyond. That's amazing. I can't wait.
We'll be able to see everything, the village, the stadium that's even inside the middle of the track.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
Come on.
Literally couldn't have imagined that.
There's no world. I mean, it's amazing.
It sort of has a feeling between a roller coaster and an airplane. You're basically going left and right, but you're in the air as well.
That was absolutely perfect description. It was an adrenaline rush, the same way the Nürburgring was, but in a completely different way at the same time.
Being to the Mans and go to the helicopter and see all the track. It's the biggest track I've ever seen.
And the fact they're going around it so fast, with it being that big,
I mean,
it's just mental.
They're getting around that whole thing in like 3 minutes, and words are gone.
Richard, someone call.
This for Richard. I don't need to say. Dale miss from Thomas.
Richard? Someone called Thomas dropped this off for you.
Thomas? From the office? Thomas drove 400 miles to drop off this.
438.
Whatever would possess him to do such a thing? He could have given it to me on Monday.
All right, welcome back, everybody. So, just want to say here real fast, that helicopter tour video, as a person who has a deathly fear of heights, I could not do that, but you did it apparently.
Yeah.
I was told, okay, that I was supposed to do that, that I was scheduled to do this, and I don't know if I would have accepted it. If they would have said, hey, either get in this helicopter or be out.
No, I mean, I was the same. I don't like flying. I don't like flying in jumbo jets. This was a little bit different. It's a lot more stable.
Yeah.
When you go up there, and also just it's such a knockout when you see the track from above. It's huge. I was coming here on the train. I was looking on Google Maps to how far away I was, and the road was closed, right?
Yeah.
That's not an insignificant amount of road happening right there.
Yeah.
And you can see that when you get up above the track, it just goes forever and ever, just on and on and on. Absolutely astonishing.
Flying death machines, in my opinion. But in any case, so guys, we're looking to get set up here in just a little bit. There was a little bit of an issue that's being sorted on our end. We'll be sure to keep you guys updated on what's the latest, what's to happen there in just a little bit. Also, for those of you guys who may not know, there's this big race that's going on out there as well. So you happen to check that out, please do so.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome. There's nothing that wakes you up better as well. We were on the way up to the arena this morning, and it was, I was feeling a bit tired. I have to say, I needed a little extra something other than coffee, and the sound of a few naturally aspirated V8s just blasting by.
My goodness.
I tell you, that gives you the energy you need to get going.
It wakes you up in the morning.
Exactly.
Awesome stuff. Well, for now though, we're gonna go ahead, get this all sorted out. But we do have we did actually get an opportunity to talk with a lot of the players here. And one of those players we did get a chance to speak with was Eggy. So let's go ahead and check that out. See you in just a few.
are here at Le Mans for the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Finals, and I'm joined here with F4H Eggy. Eggy, welcome to Le Mans.
Thank you for having me. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, first time here?
First time ever.
Are you rested up?
Yeah, I had 45 minutes on the coach on the way, so all good.
So how hard was the qualification process for you?
It was tough to get where I was, and you know, I just tried, practiced, and tried to get where I was to be.
Yeah. I was reading a little bit about you, and it said the craziest thing you've ever done is meet your partner. So I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
I sort of done it for the crack. When I was filling the form out, I was lying next to my missus, and I said to her, what could I put? And she said, oh, well, say you put me for the, you know, and that's what it led up to. So I just thought, oh yeah, I'll go on then, I'll put it on.
So what do your friends and family think about all of this?
Well, my old man about 6 months ago, he told me to stop playing the Xbox, and, you know, and I've got where I am today. I was telling him that I'm travelling to Le Mans and, you know, with people from around the world, and I sort of rub it into him to say, oh, look where I'm going.
There's the money, there's the opportunity to stand on the podium. What is it for you that's kind of driving?
I think for me, it's the podium. It's not really too fussed with the money. It's more the podium, getting yourself known, getting your name out there. For me to even be a part of that and to stand on that podium, that's an opportunity for me to be like, oh my God, I've been on that podium for so long. So
what do you feel your strengths are?
I've got a good consistent lap time, you know, try and be there. I'm not as fast as the other drivers when it comes to hot lapping, and you know, some of them drivers are amazing the way they put lap times down. I feel that for myself, I've got a bit of good with consistency in racing.
Do you think that we'll see, you know, some of the nerves coming out?
It all depends on when you sit there. Me personally, I think it will be. I'm a bit worried of like Lage, Lightning, Davies skills, Harmony, but in the real world, anything can happen in a race, you know, and yeah, they can set brilliant lap times, but you know, let's just see what happens in the race, let's see what happens on the track.
So how has it been kind of coming together and seeing everybody? Is there already some tension?
I think everyone's quite shocked really of how they've put in their gamer tags to their faces, you know, and meeting everyone. I think everyone's more excited as if, let's do this, let's see how far we can get.
It's so cool to put the faces with the gamer tags, and
it's wicked. I've really enjoyed it. You know, I've never thought I'd meet half of them people, and sitting there walking up to them and having to be able to shake their hand and be like, hello, I'm so-and-so, you're so-and-so, you know, it's an experience, and you know, that experience could never happen again. It's good to have a lot of the team here. I think there's around 5 of us here, so you know, it's a good achievement to 5 of them to, you know, qualify and get there, you know.
Have you prepared?
We've got a lot of background in endurance stuff, to be honest, because we've competed into competitions before where we have actually done 24 hours of the Nürburgring.
What are your expectations for yourself this weekend?
My expectations are, I want to be standing on that podium. I want us as a team to be celebrating on that podium.
Well, good luck this weekend. Congratulations for making it here. That's an opportunity in itself. Make sure you get some sleep tonight.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Once in a lifetime, indeed. Never in my life did I ever think I'd be here in Le Mans, France for the 24-hour Le Mans race. What about you?
It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. It's my first time here.
Yeah.
I would feel a bit guilty for not having come before. But, you know, it's off the hook. It's off the hook.
We did it. We're here. So yeah, just to give you guys an update on what's going on, there is a bit of a network issue, and I was told that the big wigs are here handling it. Word on the street is that Phil Spencer is down there right now, just like unplugging and reconnecting things. He's trying his best to like figure, I see you over there, baby. You know, so he's on it. And if Phil's on it, you know it's going to work. Just throwing it out there.
He's taking the hamster out of the modem.
Taking
a new one.
New hamster.
Yeah.
Put that bad boy in.
A little bit of cheese on a fishing stick.
I don't know if hamsters like cheese. Do hamsters like cheese?
I don't know.
Why are we talking about hamsters? We'll never know. In any case, though, guys, so yeah, we did want to keep you guys updated on what's going on here, just an FYI. So there will be a little bit of an extended delay. But the good news is, you know, you get to hear our corny jokes the whole time. It's never a bad thing. Or you can actually go ahead and check out this video with Lage, because I don't think you guys want to see our faces. Lage, by the way, do you think he goes all the way?
It's so difficult to tell now. The drivers, they've come so far in this competition. We've been driving for so long that, you know, things have become frayed. You know, they're not as consistent as they always are, you know. And Lage, among others, is starting to show cracks. Anything could happen in the coming up races.
very true. So we had a chance to sit down, similar with Eggy, and talk to Lage, get his thoughts on being here in Le Mans and the race, the upcoming race. So go ahead, check that out. Keep you guys updated in just a few. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere.
Bonjour. How's my accent?
Can you say it again?
Bonjour.
Say the R.
Bonjour.
Yes, it's much better.
See, so we're here in France. This is your home. How does it feel to be here?
Good, because I'm in UK since more than 3 months now, so it's good to be back in France.
Yeah.
Home country, so.
What do you think the endurance is going to be like this weekend?
I need to sleep a lot because it's gonna be really long. I mean, we are starting at 9 a.m. tomorrow, I think. Yeah, and then we're finishing at 2 a.m. So yeah, really long.
So when we spoke in New York, you said you really hadn't been practicing a lot. Has that changed?
For this competition, yeah, because I really need, for my part, I really need to be back at the top. So, I mean, I need that.
Do you feel that you have an advantage? Do you like the live event component?
I mean, I did some line events before. Like, for example, I won the French Championship here in the 24 Hours of Le Mans. I got some experience with that.
So after winning seasons 1 and 2 and then not winning in New York, how did that feel?
Of course, it's not a great feeling. I mean, but I had a great time in New York, so it wasn't that bad. But yeah, sometimes you just have to, yeah, not to win, to reboost you a bit, and yeah, that's what I needed this time.
What would it be like to win in your home country?
Of course, it's nice. How doesn't sound like a French win in France? But yeah, the main motivation is being in the podium in front of your home people.
So of course your friends and family are very supportive. What do they think as this keeps escalating?
It's a good feeling for them because I'm traveling around the world for free, so it's pretty nice. Also win money with that as well, so and just some good moments.
Yeah.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne chance.
Bonne chance.
À la prochaine.
À la prochaine.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne chance.
Bonne chance.
À la prochaine.
À la prochaine.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Bonne chance. À la prochaine. C'est bon.
Who really needs a Porsche? Probably no one. And motorsports? Probably no one either. But what if we hadn't proven ourselves for over 60 years on the racetrack? Our story would certainly be different. Because everything began with motorsports. It was Ferry Porsche's dream to create a sports car capable of winning on the racetrack. A dream without which many Porsche would have never seen the light of day. Because every Porsche for the road must first conquer the track. Whether it's lightweight construction, all-wheel drive, turbocharged engines, or double-clutch transmissions, what seems normal in our sports cars today had to first survive the toughest races in the world. Even further, all these efforts have gifted us the most valuable assets a company can possess. Identification, pride, fighting spirit. But most of all, a culture in which we fight for our values together. This is how we inspire people day after day with our sports cars. Only through our success in motorsports could we bring a piece of magic from the racetrack to the road. Let every Porsche driver feel the spirit of Le Mans. And let our visions become reality with the 919 Hybrid. That is why we won't stop, why we will continue to develop. Turn passion into achievement. Turn the here and now into the future. And motorsports of today into the sports car of tomorrow.
All right, welcome back to the Forza Racing Championship. Hello, everyone. We are racing in Forza Motorsport 6 this weekend, but I'm sure a lot of you know that Forza Motorsport 7 is on its way. We announced it just last Sunday at the Xbox press briefing. Forza Motorsport 7 arrives on Xbox One, Xbox One S, and Windows 10 PCs on October 3rd. And on later in the year, on November 7th, on Xbox One X. And listen, you guys can pre-order this game right now. We have 3 offers that are available right now. You can see it on the screen. We've got the Standard Edition, Deluxe, and of course the Ultimate Edition, my favorite, because not only do you get great content like the pre-order bonus content pack, VIP membership, the Day 1 car pack, listen, details coming on all that content soon. You get the car pass, and listen, you'll be playing the game on September 29th. That's a few days before the rest of the world is playing on October 3rd. So you can go to Xbox.com, you can go to the Xbox store on your Xbox One, and you can pre-order Forza Motorsport 7. And listen, we debuted this game last week at the Xbox briefing in Los Angeles, and it's an amazing game. We have over 700 cars, the largest collection of cars ever in Forza Motorsport. We have over 30 tracks, including returning tracks like Mugello. We have Maple Valley. I know a lot of you hardcore fans are really happy about that. Suzuka's coming back. We're going to have more on the cars and tracks coming later in the year. All this summer we'll be announcing that. But also, this is a game that is the most beautiful game we've ever built. If you've seen the trailer, you know that we have an amazing weather systems, dynamic conditions on the tracks. It's just a game that was built for the motorsport enthusiast. I can't wait to show all of you more. We'll have more details throughout the summer on Forza Motorsport 7. In the meantime, while we continue to work on the issues here at the Forza Racing Championship here at Le Mans, we're going to toss it over to the Xbox trailer, the trailer for Forza Motorsport 7 that was shown last week. Check it out.
It has been said
Without sacrifice, there can be no victory. Two species at war. One flesh, one metal. Optimus Prime has left us. 100 billion train planets in the cosmos. You want to know, don't you? Why they keep coming here?
I want to stay, and I want to fight them.
And now, two worlds colliding.
The operation is over.
We're not giving up, okay? Only one survives.
Oh my God.
Forgive me.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals, live from Le Mans, the Porsche Cup here. As we get ready to go right into it, just want to say real fast, turn 10, make it happen, Anthony Hopkins edition, okay, where he narrates your whole experience. Let's just do it.
Yeah, he comes around your house.
Yeah, he comes around your house, stands behind you, and just narrates you playing some Forza. I think it'd be pretty dope. You know what? Who also think it would be pretty dope? It's Brian over on the wings. Brian, do want to get your thoughts here on Anthony Hopkins Forza Edition, and of course his track, because you know that's the actual thing that's going to happen. So, what do you have for me, Brian?
I get the feeling that an Anthony Hopkins version of Forza would have a Jaguar on the cover. That's all I'm going to say. Hey, listen, we're going to be racing on Spa. We mentioned it earlier. What a track this is! Everyone loves Spa. It seems like it's got a little bit of everything for the racer. It's got really long straights. It's got some of the best corners in all of motorsport, including La Source, that really tight right-hander after the first straight, and of course Eau Rouge, very famous. You can take it at speed, but you have to have some guts to do it. And this is going to be a great race. Very fast cars were running, and as we saw yesterday, what that resulted in was some spreading out in the field. So we'll see how it goes on today when we've got the finals on the line, guys.
Yeah, it's going to be super exciting. The drivers are getting ready to go, so let's go ahead and talk about that car that they'll be driving, which is what better way to kick off the stream than with the Porsche GT1, this bad boy. It's beauty over here.
Amazing car, amazing car. Winner of the 1998 24 Hours of Le Mans, and it is a beast. 550 brake horsepower coming from a twin turbo 3.2 litre flat six. This is an awesome automobile. And if you look at that design, you know it's going to just generate so much downforce. Look at that. That is not a road car. That is a race car right there.
Oh, yeah. I know. It's absolutely gorgeous vehicle, guys. But here we go. You know, you've been waiting for it, so it's time to get ready and go into the grid, folks. We have Lage in the first position, looking for him to do some work in his home country. Then Lightning right behind him. Meanwhile, in third, you have Box. So it's going to be all car in the top three. GDZ Kriz going to make some noise here as well. In fifth, Roadrunner. Looking forward to seeing that aggression coming out of him. And JSR Rossi in sixth.
Yeah, absolutely. Just behind him, Envirus trying to make it up, for starting in seventh position. We've got Atax Johnson there as well, very popular figure. He's not going to have his Potato Johnson happening just yet. Karamar's just behind him with his teammate and good buddy Zermatt beside him. And then it's F4H, Force 1 on 11th. And the last row of this grid, the last position, XRS Kaiser Wolf.
Here we go. It is time to kick off our first race in the grand finals, and we are green in Le Mans and green on Spa. Let's go ahead and jump right into this here.
That's a smooth start there.
Good start for Lage.
He's just going to want to hold that line in the middle there, just make sure that he doesn't leave any gaps. Don't sneak in there. Nicely controlled right now as he heads down towards Eau Rouge for the first time.
That was a turn that I was a little concerned about there, Ali, because you see a lot of, just shenanigans take place there right at the opening. So good to see Lage keeping this one going. But Box is going to be in second, so this is going to be very interesting to see how this pans out. Roadrunner now in third. He's coming around the side here. GTZ Chris knocks down fourth. Lightning and Roadrunner kind of a little bit of a shootout here as Lightning's going to win that one out. Continues to progress forward here. Now everyone's going to get in line. Get ready for this next turn here that's right then left.
That Lightning does not want to stay in third position. He's just done an absolute lunge down there at the end of the Camel Straight. So he's going to want to move up. Second position right now, only Lage ahead of him.
Box gets knocked out. I can't believe it as we make our way over here to turn 10. And Box in 12th position. That is a heartbreaker spinning out there. I believe that was around turn 9.
All through the night, Box has been Mr. Consistency. He's run those races beautifully. This is not a representation of his form right now. There must have been some shenanigans there in the first sector. So yeah, he's got a recovery race ahead of him, but he can still do this if he just puts it together.
Not out of it by any stretch of the imagination here. Roadrunner now right at the tail of Lightning. Just looking for that prime opportunity here, but Lightning's so good, so meticulous in his execution. Can't really see Roadrunner getting too many opportunities, so he's going to have to strike while the iron's hot here looking for something. He's not going to find it quite yet. And Lage, he's just running a perfect race here thus far. Nothing's touched him.
Lage is loving it. All of the battling that's going to happen here from second down the pack is just going to help him out. Every time there's two cars wide, every time they're fighting with each other, they're not taking the optimum line around this track, and they're going to lose out on time. There it is. There's another example right there. Roadrunner absolutely walking past Lightning as well.
We said it before, Roadrunner's going to look for that opportunity to just dive on him, and he managed to do so. Beautiful work from him as we get ready to lock down that first lap. What an exciting first lap it was. We go down to this next turn here, but again, I can totally see Lage just playing this one wonderfully, going into that sharp turn on the right here, and exactly just that. But it is going to come down to Lightning and Roadrunner kind of dueling back and forth here, and Roadrunner losing his position here. Lightning gains it right back. So just as you think Roadrunner had some, had that upper hand, Lightning can't sleep on him by any stretch of the imagination.
Let's hop on board with JSR Rossi here, heading up the Camel Straight. He's just come through Eau Rouge, and you can see the commitment there. Beautiful line, very, very little steering input. That just helps him maintain that top speed and bring it down this long straight. And he's looking good to move up from 5th position, but that's if he can keep M-Virus.
And Virus, he was able to get right on his left side, but he had to get this inside turn here. Tires a little bit inside of the grass, but that is going to be wonderful there for Rossi, who managed to survive that one for the time being. Was certainly not what he was hoping for, and that kind of popped up out of nowhere.
It isn't. I mean, when you're struggling pace, if there's people behind you putting pressure on you, you just have to lump it out, get your rhythm back, and start putting those lap times in once again. So Rossi there, just needing to find that rhythm once again as Kaiser Wolf sneaks by him.
Kaiser Wolf, this guy coming all the way from the 12th position here, folks. Now he's halfway. I mean, you can't sleep on any of these competitors in the top 12. They are here for a reason. This is the best of the best that Forza Motorsport has to offer. So even if you're in that 12th position, high probability you'll fight your way out of that. I mean, even take a look at Box, right? A perfect example. He was kind of in that really awkward spot. He's still in 12th, but he has that opportunity. He can very much strike when it presents itself.
For sure. If you look on the bottom left of the screen here, we'll be able to see that even on lap 2, we're already starting to separate into packs in this race. We've got a lead pack, that's Lage, followed by Lightning, with Roadrunner 3rd and 4th GTZ Chris, and then it's that battle for 5th that we see behind. JSR Rossi and an absolute gaggle of cars caught up behind XRS Kaiser Wolf.
Virus to make his presence known here, but Johnson's going to lose that position, and Amar's going to creep up on him, and Zermatt follows right through as we go right into the straight and into turn 1. This is when you can start to see some commotion here. Who's going to capitalize on is the question. Johnson goes on the outside, can't quite gain any
such little sleep, and you can see they're merciless right now. They just want to make a train, keep someone offline, and push through one by one. There's no pity out there whatsoever. Johnson, though, he's a very mature driver, very experienced. You can see his control inputs there on that picture-in-picture. I love that.
Very few inputs there on that left stick, right? You don't want to continue to maintain that speed going into that straightaway. Turn 7, 8, 9. Definitely a loopy turn there as well because of how things have panned out in the past there, especially we saw what happened with Fox earlier. But Brian, I want to get your thoughts here. Roadrunner has been doing pretty well in this race thus far. What do you think?
Yeah, Roadrunner has been very strong, and he's taken the fight back to Lightning. We saw it earlier. He actually overtook Lightning at one point, but Lightning fought back. You see Lage up ahead, but I think there's a real challenge here between Lightning and Roadrunner. And let's not forget, what happens here in race 1 affects all the rest of the races, because where you finish here is where you start the next race. So Lightning, Roadrunner, and Lage, this race means everything to all three of these guys.
That's right. This race certainly is going to set the tone going into our second, without a doubt, because of the grid change and all that good stuff. Roadrunner really looking to capitalize here, and I have to say though, Lage not building as assertive a lead as we've seen in the past. That's how you know we're at the cream of the crop at this point in the competition.
You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Lage is a brilliant driver, especially when he has clean air in front of him. There's no one else who can just hammer those lap times in. But if anyone can match him, it's Car Lightning. And Roadrunner here, he's come out to this competition and just stormed it all the way through. He's such a brilliant, aggressive driver as well. That's what I love about watching him. He's able to throw the move on with absolute confidence, even with no racing line and almost no information.
It's been a breath of fresh air, really, to see Roadrunner really challenge the upper echelon of professional Forza. It's been great, and I think we can only continue to see more greatness from that young man, not only here but also just in the future as well. Roadrunner hot on his tail here, but he's not really getting or just really playing it out, right? Waiting for that prime opportunity on the turn. Maybe Lightning makes a mistake. We've seen it happen in the past. Lage right now driving like a robot, which Lage known for doing. But in the group stages, in the semifinals, I should say, we've seen that both of these guys, they are human. They will make errors, especially considering that this endurance race, most of these guys have about an hour or 2 hours of sleep max. So they're drained.
It's crazy. I mean, and just for some context, Car Lage here leading this race, he's run a fastest lap of a 2:15.0. The optimum time that I could find before coming here was a 2:14.8. That's just 2/10 difference. And after all that thoughts, after so little sleep, he's still there hammering those lap times in. And not just him, Lightning and Roadrunner as well, joining that party.
Well, you said it best. When he gets clean air in front of him, Lage can basically do anything. And he's very familiar with this pole position. The confidence that he has when he drives like this, you can just tell it's a position he's familiar with. But if he does get tossed back into the scrap, into the thick of things, right? In a scrappy situation, he can throw down and get scrapped as well. We've seen at the New York Invitation when he started in 10th or 8th, crept his way right back into the top 4. Very impressive stuff there. So much racing to be had, and what a way to start things off here. But not surprised with what we're seeing thus far with Lage and Lightning in that first and second position.
Surprising at all. I mean, this though is surprising to see Roadrunner putting so much pressure on Lightning here at this early stage.
He's going to hit the turn here. Like this, he's just trying to play it out as smart as he can, coming into the inside and then, weaving his way out. We're going to go into that 5th lap here, folks. Oh boy, this is Roadrunner's just trying to get the advantage, the little advantages where he can, right? That's it. He's just trying to look for those small windows of opportunity. And I have to say, Lightning's kind of giving it to him, just a little bit, right?
I love this. Watch both of these just flying up over roofs so close to each other. That's 30 feet difference throughout that whole corner. Absolute flat, absolute commitment on the throttle from both of them. That's absolutely awesome. That's incredible.
This is the kind of stuff that you want to see if you're a fan of Forza. And look at this here. He's gaining on him. Lightning, he's going to look to creep around the side here and find him on the outside. Can Lightning defend himself? And yes, he's able to do so. But man, Roadrunner is looking for it. You can tell he gets a little close. He creeps in, maybe like 20, 25 feet. And then he pops out, and Lightning's like, oh crap, he's going for the inside, and Lightning has to correct himself right away. It's these little details that you got to look out for in this race. Roadrunner will look to exploit that. I love it.
This is lap 5 of a 6-lap race. I tell you what, if it had been a lap later that move was happening, I think Roadrunner would have been a little bit more aggressive.
This is intense. Lightning's got it. He's trying to hold this one off. I mean, I have a cheesy smile on my face right now because I'm loving what I'm seeing here. This has basically just been a battle for second, though, because Lage he's not looking back. He's just gone. Granted, it's 225 feet to Lightning. It's still very doable, but with 2 laps remaining, we're already halfway done with this one. I can see Lage holding on to the pole position going into race number 2.
Yeah, I mean, Lightning now requires the mistake from Lage.
Yes.
He's built himself a little pillow, just those couple of 100 feet. Further back here, Kaitzer Wolf and Chris, GTZ Chris, are battling it out for 4th position. Going down here towards Provisional. I mean, this car is very, very fast in a straight line. It's got a lot of aerodynamic downforce, though. And that means it creates drag. It slows you down on the straights. That means tucking in behind another car, like Chris, like Kaitzer Wolf's doing here, can give you a lot of extra speed. You can really draft.
You're seeing it yet again. Roadrunner is looking to get a little gully here. Push up, make Lightning have to defend himself, defend his turf. He does so. And now it's all coming down to this final lap. Can Roadrunner get in front of Lightning? Will Lightning allow him to? Will Lightning make that mistake? Also, another thing we really haven't touched on all that much is in box. He started, what was that, in the 3rd position, dropped all the way down to 12. He has not been able to recover since then because he's so far back. You can see him on the map there, he's so far back. That just goes to show you those mistakes at the beginning, and really interested to see like what happened there as well. We'll get the adjudication process. Take a look at it. Here goes Roadrunner, though. He's going to creep on the outside. But Lightning, he will have control of the N-word, and Lightning breaks through there, and he's going to be able to secure himself in that 2nd position. But again, Roadrunner, he's challenging him. He continues to challenge him. I love it.
Lightning's just holding on for dear life here. It's all about just getting through this car. He'll be thinking to himself, you know, maybe I don't have that top pace in the GT1, but when we change to a different car, change to a different track, as long as I can preserve 2nd position and 2nd on the grid, I still have a chance. But yeah, Roadrunner does not want to say no for an answer.
He's creeping. He's creeping. He's going on the inside as well. Can he find it this time around? Lightning, though, is going to be able to hold this one off, and he does get the speed that he's looking for and is able to get ahead of him here. This battle here for 2nd place certainly has been super intense. You see Roadrunner, though, very focused on your screen.
He's got a great game face, right? Look at that. He looks like he knows something. I think that wisdom.
You know what, man? He smells the fear. He smells the fear. Roadrunner is all over that, man. So good. In any case, so now Lightning creating a little bit of space between them. 58 feet, not much, but still good enough for the time being.
Look at those feet dropping. Well, that's the draft for you right there. Lightning moving all that standing still air and getting it moving nice and forward for Roadrunner to tuck inside of. He's got one opportunity left, and that's this last chicane. What can he do?
He's looking for the opportunity. I just don't think Lightning's going to give it to him at this point. He goes on the outside, though. Can he find it? Can he find it? He finds it, and Roadrunner is going to get that 2nd position. I can't believe it. Right at the end, and Lightning gave it up. He was holding it so wonderfully, but he couldn't maintain it. That is inspired driving from Roadrunner. I'm shocked.
I said that the room loved it. I loved it. That was an amazing, amazing move. And time to perfection, you know. There's only one point where you need to be in front of another car, and that's when the checkered flag is waving. Don't need to be in front of them at any other point. Doesn't count for anything. That's the one moment it counts.
He took it right at the end there. The room loved it. Roadrunner loved it. I loved it. But who didn't love it? Lightning. And now he's in the 3rd position going into race number 2. Definitely not what he would have wanted, the New York defending champion.
Lightning, you know, he has all the skills to bring this back in later races. We've seen that time and time again. You know, absolutely brilliant and accomplished Forza racing driver. At the same time, though, Roadrunner, you know, we talk endlessly about this Lightning Lage story. You know, as if there's 2 people who play this game. There's 12 people in this lobby, and Roadrunner, he's up there. He's racing with that top pack.
No one's talking about Roadrunner, but I think now he's forcefully put himself in the conversation Lage better look out, because Roadrunner, he will get in there. He finds an opportunity, he will get in there. I love it, but let's go ahead and take a look at the provisional results here and see what we have as we get ready for the adjudication process. Lage managing to score himself 25 points. Roadrunner getting the critical 3 points from that race. Lightning dropping to 3rd, and keep in mind what we have here also will be reflected onto the grid when we have the final results, of course, but it will be reflected onto the grid going into our 2nd race as well. GDZ Chris, by the way, we didn't really talk about him all that much, just maintaining himself in that 4th position, Ali.
That's Chris through and through in a way, right? He's this silent performer. He's always there, consistent time and time again, and he'll hit that 4th position. He'll be able to work from there. You know, he's starting 4th next race as long as there's no stewards' decisions or anything like that. Yeah. And that's solid. That's 2nd row of the grid. Great. He can do something with that.
But now Lightning's going to have to concern himself with Chris. And we've seen Chris in the past really take advantage of the opportunities when it's given to him. But a lot of moments in that race. Moments, might you say? Michelin moments. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the key points in that one. I think the Michelin moment, without a doubt, was that overtake at the end from Roadrunner. It was a highlight reel.
Brilliant, wasn't it? Brilliant to see him setting it up there. You know, I'm sure we'll glance at it later on these clip reel, but see him setting it up along the back straight, drafting along, and it was all about that line. There it is, wide line on the way in, all that speed on the 2nd turn, and just power down out. Beautifully done. Beautifully done.
Can't believe it. And not only did he power out of it, he powered out of it with 70 feet gained out of that one as well. I mean, that is insane. Oh, dear Lord, that is what you want to open it up. I mean, the wait was certainly worth it because that race was phenomenal. Unfortunately, though, one person who did not have a phenomenal moment in that race was Box. He drifted out. I'm sure he's very frustrated with what happened there. Good news is we have the man on the street, the one and only Scott Cole on the side with Box. I want to get his thoughts on this one. Take it away, Scott.
All right, thanks so much, guys. Box, you're in 3rd grid here to start the grand final. What happened on that 1st lap?
For the first corner was everything alright. I came out in 2nd place, which was pretty much awesome. But then after the long straight, after the Air Rouge, I accidentally shift down into the 1st gear, which was just RIP. And then somebody also hit me because I was going way too slow in the 1st gear, and it also gave me 11% engine damage. It just was a mistake I did by myself, and I messed it up with it.
What's your mindset now? Going to be possibly starting from the back and have to work your way all the way back to the front?
Yeah, I'm trying to get some points every race so that I hopefully can still get like 7th or 8th place overall and get some decent money.
You heard it, guys. He's got to crawl back in this one. Disappointing first lap here for Box.
You know what, though? I'm not too concerned with Box. He's one of the best for a reason. I think he will find a way to recover. And hey, you know what? Things happen. But yeah, Box is one of the best. I'm not worried about him.
He is. He's been there tournament after tournament. And I mean, it's a shame in a lot of ways because his consistency has been the notable thing about him throughout this event. It's been a very long event. You know, this is the final 4 races, sure. But we've been doing this for 13 hours, you know, coming up to this. And he's been the guy who's always been up there, always been succeeding. And it's now, when the finals come along, that inconsistency comes into play.
Yeah, but again, though, right, he will find himself there. Everyone that's down, you know, in the bottom, better watch out because Box, he's moving with a purpose. Going into the 2nd race, going to be very interesting. But speaking of purpose, someone who had a goal in that one, and that was to get that 2nd position. The good news is we're going to have a word with him. Scott has Roadrunner on the sideline. Scott, what you got?
Yeah, Alex, Roadrunner here with me. A heck of a move on that last chicane. Then you moved around the final corner. I heard Lightning talking to you. What were you guys discussing?
I noticed on the straight he was losing a lot of time. So after the race, he told me his engine damage. You could clearly see it, about 6%, if I heard correctly. So that's about half a second a lap down. So upsetting, but got to make up on it.
What was your thoughts when you're going around that final lap, knowing that you want to make a move? Why did you decide to make the move then?
Last corner, got to try. But I noticed he was on the curb and traction control were kicking, so I knew I had to get the exit. So I had to to try.
Well, guys, it's possibly that he's going to be starting number 2 on the grid on the next race. So big move for this guy right here in Roadrunner.
Looking forward to seeing more from Roadrunner in this one here. You can see that turn yet again. Oh my goodness, that was a thing of beauty, man. He just said, hey, I saw it, I just went for it.
When the gap opens, you know, just go in there.
Sometimes you just gotta take it in. He was actually explaining it as well to one of the drivers who was next to him. He was just like, hey man, I was right there. Squeak right in. That's the sound effects I make.
That's the noise a natural car makes.
That's how it sounds to me.
Yeah, we've got the guys going around the track here. You can hear them in the background. Every now and then you can hear that little like, pop.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my goodness. Well, you know, I want to bring Brian in here. Brian, thoughts on that race, man? Because that was a doozy.
Yeah, that was a doozy, and what a way to start the grand finals, the final round, with some amazing driving all the way around, and of course Roadrunner pulling it out at the very end. Listen, I want to talk a little bit about adjudication because the guys are in the back. The Gfinity crew has been adjudicating all throughout the 2 days of our Season 3 grand finals. If you missed our interview with Evan yesterday, I can tell you that they're looking for things like cars making contact with one another, all 4 tires off of the outside of the white line. That's the kind of things that the adjudication crew is looking for. They're taking their time for all of this because money is on the line. The chance to stand on the real podium at the 24-hour of Le Mans is on the line. These guys are taking their time. That's why, you know, they're working hard back there to get the results so we can keep this moving. But yep, I was back there earlier, and it's really fascinating to watch them work, and they're looking at every angle on every race for every racer. It's awesome to see, guys.
Thank you so much, Brian. And yes, with so much money on the line, so much money, so many money. Did I say so many money? Oh, dear Lord. It's still early. With so much money on the line. So, oh my God, can I finish? Can I like get words out of my mouth properly? With a lot of cash on the line, there's so much you got to focus on, people. It's been a long trip here, Ali.
This has been, you know, this has been the real thing. This has been the real thing.
So much money.
Yeah. It's a $100,000 prize pool.
It's a lot of cash, dude.
That's some Squilla right there.
No, that's not. Did you say Squilla?
I went with Squilla.
No, it's Skrilla.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's with an R.
I'm such a noob.
It's not like a squirrel, you know.
I prefer that. I prefer that. How many squirrels are there?
Ali, bless you in your effort. You know,
like the Squilla. I mean, the money, that's fine, but I'm into the squirrels.
Yeah.
How many of those do we get?
You know what? We'll find that out a little bit. That should be a trivia question. Speaking of trivia questions, we want to ask you guys this bad boy right here. Which iconic sports car won the 24-hour of Le Mans in 1970 and 1971? Is that the Porsche 917K, the Porsche 917P, the VW Beetle, or the Porsche 919 Hybrid? Do you know the answer to this one, Alex?
Yeah, C, VW Beetle. That's the answer.
Oh, yeah. I was about to say, don't share the answer with everyone. It's very clear it's the Beetle, guys. So, yes, it's going to be a good day here. We're having fun at the end of the day, right? It's video games. It's awesome. We're in Le Mans, and I've been having a blast. But we do got to take a break, though. When we come back, we're going to start race number 2. We're going to see how all this continues to unfold. Don't go anywhere. Forza Racing Championship live from Le Mans comes at you in just a little bit, and we'll see you on the other side.
Yeah!
But what if we hadn't proven ourselves for over 60 years on the racetrack? Our story would certainly be different. Because everything began with motorsport. It was Ferry Porsche's dream to create a sports car capable of winning on the racetrack. A dream without which many Porsche would have never seen the light of day. Because every Porsche for the road must first come the track. Whether it's lightweight construction, all-wheel drive, turbocharged engines, or double-clutch transmissions, what seems normal in our sports cars today had to first survive the toughest races in the world. Even Ford. All these efforts have gifted us the most valuable assets a company can possess. Identification, pride, fighting spirit. But most of all, a culture in which we fight for our values together. This is how we inspire people day after day with our sports cars. Only through our success in motorsports could we bring a piece of magic from the racetrack to the world. Let every Porsche driver feel the spirit of Le Mans. And let our visions become reality with the 919 Hybrid. That is why we won't stop. Why we will continue to develop. Turn passion into achievement. Turn the here and now into the future. And motorsports of today into the sports car of tomorrow.
Racing Championship. Live from on that ad asked you, like, do you want a Porsche? Yeah, I want a Porsche. Seriously, okay? I want one, and I hope when I go home, there'll just be one, parked in Brooklyn. If you find parking, of course, that is, because you probably won't, not my neighborhood. But Ali,
yeah, it wouldn't hurt. It wouldn't hurt. Porsche, yeah, it'd be okay. I could deal with that. I could find things to do with it.
Yeah, I can find some. Well, I live in New York, so I mean, chances are it's gonna be like stop,
Yeah.
But then I'll open that up in like the, you know what? I'm just gonna go and run some red lights. I'm kidding. Don't do that, kids. Don't do that. Seriously. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about the trivia question that we left you off with before. It was very clear what the answer was. VW Beetle. Everyone got it wrong. But which iconic sports car won the 24 Hour of Le Mans in 1970 and 1971? The answer is... Porsche 917K.
Awesome car, absolutely incredible. It's the one featured in the Steve McQueen film Le Mans, and it's an absolute beast. That car. If you haven't already, go and look it up on Wikipedia and get the engine sound and all that stuff, because that thing is an animal.
Yeah. Well, by the way, shout out to the people who voted VW Beetle. Bless you, and in your effort to meme and troll as much as possible.
With an engine swap, maybe, boost that up to S-Class.
Put that in the Beetle. Don't get me wrong, love me the Beetle, but at the end of the day, If you imagine if you see a Beetle tearing through Le Mans, that'd be insane.
That'd be awesome. Like Herbie.
That'd be amazing. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, good news is though, we have Brian over on the wings, and they're actually doing some awesome designs on the side. Brian, what you got?
Yeah, I'm here on the show floor. It's amazing to be here and not back in the analysis room, which is kind of cramped. It's great to be on stage. Listen, we have some amazing painters here today. Now, if you've played Forza, you know it's all about racing. It's all about cars. But of course, a big part of it is all about painting, creating liveries. And we have some really talented artists with us today that are joining us that are creating liveries live as we speak. First of all, we've got Jason, better known as Forza Livery Guy. Jason, how are you doing?
How you doing, Brian? How you doing?
I'm doing great. So obviously you've been a well-known member of the community for a long time, creating fantastic liveries. In fact, Forza Livery Guy and Midland Zeta are the ones who created the liveries you see on the cars here at the Forza Racing Championship, but you're creating an original design here. Tell us about this design and how your process works when you're painting.
So for me, it kind of varies. Sometimes I'll plan it, I pre-plan it on paper, or I'll do some research online, or use like image search, things like that. But today, for example, it's just like a vintage kind of like Le Mans poster type kind of thing. I'm kind of just winging it today. But normally, like for the Porsche Cup today, there's a bit more planning involved. So, but it varies. I mean, I stream sometimes, so I just kind of like just go with the flow. Do you know what I mean? So it varies.
Yeah. So what you're painting the Ferrari today, unicorn car in Forza 6. Tell me about your design. You say you're winging it, but it seems like you're pretty far along so far.
Yeah. I had a bit of practice. Yeah, I had a few ideas up in my head. Do you know what I mean? So I kind of knew what I wanted to achieve today. But still, what I find sometimes, even though you have like this idea in your head, when you start painting it, you get halfway through, you think, I don't like it. You go back, you switch things up. So the final result today may change slightly. So yeah, again, it's just a lot of what's what I'm looking for. I can't think of the word right now. I'm sorry.
Well, tell us about the inspiration of where this is heading. I know we're at Le Mans. It seems like we've got some red, white, and blue here. Are we thinking the French flag?
Why not? I mean, so obviously Le Mans, iconic location. The race has been going for over 100 years. Again, a vintage Ferrari. Make it look vintage. Do you know what I mean? So make it look all like nice clean lines, simple colours for like posters back in the days. But I'm gonna kind of make it a bit more scuffed up, like it's been used, like it's been worn, you know. So yeah, hopefully it's all right.
And your specialty, I guess, from knowing your work, your specialty is sort of realistic race design. Was that fair to characterize your style, so to speak?
Yeah, for me, I started creating liveries because even when I was playing offline, obviously you see the designs on the cars that you're racing. I wanted to try and have the cars look all similar, like an actual race event, if you know what I mean. So rather than having like a red car or a blue car or a pink car, I tried to make them all look like race cars. So sponsor logos, you know what I mean? You know, things that I did some research into, like the placement of the logos. You know, logos is key. Accurate kind of like manufacturer logos makes a difference to the final design. So yeah.
All right, well, it looks great. Fantastic work. Can't wait. This is one of the liveries we'll be giving out. It's really awesome. Thank you so much for your time. We actually have one other person that we're going to talk to. We're going to scooch over here. We're going to talk to Robin, who's a member of the Forza community team. Traveled all the way out to France. Thank you for being here. It's awesome. First, before we talk about painting, what's your impressions of Le Mans so far?
It's fantastic. The atmosphere is just exhilarating, and I had no idea when I got here. And standing beside the track and feeling the reverberation in your chest is just amazing.
Awesome. So what's interesting to me is that Jason and Robin have very different styles. Where we're talking about Jason's style was more race inspired. Robin, you have a very art-inspired style. You do realistic paintings, realistic drawings, all using these basic shapes in Forza. Tell me about how you got started and what your inspirations are.
Well, I got started by accident, really. A friend of mine was looking for a game that we could all play together, and he bought me a copy of Forza, said, hey, try this out. and I really liked the racing, but then one day I went into the auction house, I saw a livery, and I said, hey, that's what I want to do. So I've been practicing ever since, and yes, I do try to push the livery editor as far as I can, and for me it's an art form.
So tell me about your work here. We're obviously a work in progress. You're still in the middle of it, but I think you were working on sort of a Le Mans poster theme. Is that right?
That's correct. I think a lot of really great art has come out of the posters historically for Le Mans, and so I did something kind of based in that theme, not a copy of anything, it's an original work, but I just wanted to kind of follow in that theme because I've been really impressed with the posters.
And very quickly, you are using basic shapes to create these paint-like strokes. Is that correct? Is that the basics of what you're doing?
That's correct, yes.
It looks amazing. Again, Robin and Jason's liveries are going to be available to those watching on Mixer and Twitch. So make sure you're linked up and keep painting, guys. The work looks awesome. Can't wait to see these on the cars and drive them when I get home. In the meantime, back to you guys on the desk.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. I make a mean stick figure in MS Paint. I tell you, I get the circle, right?
Yeah.
Hear me out. You do the circle. You bring the line down. Hands out, right?
You're going too quickly. We have to bring this back a few steps.
Okay.
Yeah.
Circle, line, little arms sticking out, legs sticking out, and then if it's a girl, little triangle for the skirt.
That's nice.
Isn't that nice?
It's a good way of differentiating. It's incredible to see these painters at work, though. Because yeah, I've given it a go a few times, and I'd put so much time into them. I try so hard, and they look rubbish.
The talent that they have in this
these ones are just dead. Yeah, they're mad. They're great.
Oh, man. Well, guys, good news is we have the final results of race number 1. Let's go ahead and take a look at that. So, Lage will secure himself in first. Roadrunner, Lightning, second and third. Box got hit with the penalty there. So you really can't, kick a guy while he's down.
He stood up in the interview, he was standing there and saying, yeah, that was my fault, and I think that's a it's a big thing to do, stand there and just take it.
Yeah.
He'll have the experience to move on from that. I think Lightning was a little bit rough in lap 1. I think there was an overtake there, which may have seen him with a warning, but he's gotten away with it, which is a good thing. And if you don't get a yellow card, you're not racing hard enough.
Very true. Very true. Well, guys, there you have it. So that is the final position there as we get ready. And it's now time to jump into race number 2 in the grand finals here at the Forza Racing Championship Season 3, presented by Porsche. It's going to be in Nürburgring, and what's exciting about this one, it is going to be the wet option, or as I like to call it, the moist track. Had to fit moist in there somehow.
That's awesome. That's all. Yeah, you made it awkward. Yeah. You made Forza awkward. Well done.
Yes. If there's one thing I can do, make things awkward. All right, here we go. And these guys are going to be racing in the Porsche Turbo S model here. What can you tell me about this car?
Yeah, it's a cool little car. It's got a decent amount of power. Obviously a turbocharger, and that's what's important here, because it's all about keeping that rev range high enough to keep the turbo whirling around and sucking that air into the engine. You need it, they run off the exhaust fumes, so you kind of have to get the engine going first, and then it starts really kicking off.
Yeah.
And so it's going to be about keeping the revs in the right range to get the most power out of that engine. That's what's going to be interesting, especially on a wet track.
Yeah, that's right. Speaking of the track, let's get Brian's thoughts here, and thoughts on, maybe calling it the moist option.
Yeah, moist is one adjective you could use. Listen, we are at the Nürburgring. This is the wet version of the track. This is the 3rd time we're at the Nürburgring for the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals. You might remember yesterday we did it in the daytime, we did it in the nighttime, and here we are in the wet. And let me tell you, the Nürburgring in the wet is very challenging, because you do have elevation changes on this track, and those pedals collect right where you would expect them to be, at the bottom of the hill. In the toughest corners, you have to stay a little bit on the outside, because those pedals are on the inside of the corner. At some of these really challenging corners. The turns are challenging enough. When you add the wet, when you add the puddles, it's going to be an incredible challenge for these guys. Let's see how they do.
All right, thank you so much, Brian. And yeah, when you throw the weather conditions there, certainly, those things were loose. This is the first time we're going to see this. So
yeah.
For a lot of these drivers, this is a whole new world here.
I I mean, a good way of imagining it is it just narrows the track. You have puddles on there, you have to work around them, you know?
Here we go. It's time. We're in the race here. Seems like everyone's off. I believe so. No, never mind. Never mind. We saw, I was in my head, they said race, and I was like, oh, are we going? Let's go. We'll go in a little bit, guys. Really sorry about that. So yes, we did talk about the car a little bit there. You had mentioned, about the Porsche Turbo S. Any other little tricks, little secrets about this awesome vehicle?
Yeah, I mean, this is a sort of classic Porsche that you're going to see here. Rear engine, so that's all sitting behind the rear axle. That's a very classic Porsche place to put it. And develops 550 brake horsepower. To put that in context, that's the same amount that the GT198 produces. That first car we had, that's a dedicated race car. This is in a road car chassis. Wow. So you can think about how that's going to affect it in terms of going through corners especially. A lot heavier, a lot more difficult to steer and to maintain line with than the Porsche GT1.
How will the all-wheel drive play a factor in this as well? Because we do have the weather condition on the track.
Yeah, all-wheel drive is very useful, especially when you're in the wet. It gives you that acceleration from all the cars, the front and the rear. It will affect the way people choose to approach the assists, though, especially. Sim steering is an absolute essential for all-wheel drive. That's when you set it. So there's no compensation for how you move the thumbstick. It all just translates into steering driving. You have to be very smooth with it. You have to really be a pro player to be able to pick that up.
That's right. So again, be on the lookout for that going into this one. Again, this track, it's really going to throw people for a loop. But now we want to know who you guys are going to think will come out on top. Who will be the winner of this race? You can vote right now if you're on Mixer. It seems like you got Lage and Lightning with the with the win so far, with the lead. I want to see some more.
I'm liking that support though. I'm liking that support that Roadrunner's starting to drum up. There you go. Lage and Lightning, they're the obvious choices in previous seasons. But yeah, Roadrunner in the last race is just impressed. I think he's practiced these tracks. I think he's practiced these cars, and he's well prepared for this final.
Indeed he is. He will be starting in the second position going into this one. Lightning in third, especially after that thrilling final turn. Man, what a way to open it up for the grand finals of the Forza Racing Championship. So we're going to get cooking just a little bit, folks. We thank you so much for sticking with us here. If you're just joining us, it's the grand finals. We're going into race number 2, which will take place in the wet option of Nürburgring. Again, this one is going to throw a lot of folks for a loop.
It will. It will. I mean, you have to remember, especially if you just tuned in, as Alex says, it's been a long day of racing. This day of racing really started sometime yesterday night, but we just haven't stopped. We just kept going, pushing through, and now it's just it's getting to a point where mistakes are coming out, and wet racing is it requires that much more accuracy.
All right, folks. Well, here we go. Time to start the second race. Lage in the pole position. Roadrunner in second. Lightning rounding it out in third for the top 3. But just outside of it, G2Z Chris, look for him to make some noise here. We have Kaiser Wolf in 5th. He started in the 12th position, and now look, he's challenging for that 4th. And then Car Amarth there as well.
Zermatt there, just starting the second half of this grid with Rossi in 8th position. He can do better than that. He'll be looking to push forward through the wet. Johnson just behind him, and Envirus 999. That's somebody who has very similar skills to Roadrunner. I think he can do better than 10th position. Force 1 and Box on the back row of the grid. They can only go forward from there.
Box started 3rd on the grid in race 1, but because of an incident that occurred, ended up going all the way to the back. But here we go. We are green. It is time to start race number 2, Nürburgring. And here you go. You can see the tires pick up and all that, just all that water just spread around them. It's insane. Getting a little collision though off the start, and this is exactly what you would expect to see here as things are getting a little hot and heavy to kick things off. But Roadrunner's going to be able to take that first place. Lightning's going to be in 4th now, and this is where things get very interesting because with Roadrunner in the pole position, this is Lage right in front of him, trying to challenge it. Lightning though coming in the corner. Lage is going to be in 3rd place. but he's looking to establish himself going into the right here. Roadrunner, though, he is in first place, Ali. I can't believe it.
This is playing so nicely into Roadrunner's hands at the moment. Lage and Lightning stuck behind him. All he needs to do is back them into each other. They'll start squabbling, and they'll give him plenty of chance to run away with this. That was a little bit of a slide there. You can see it's slippery out there.
Indeed it is, man. This is where things get very interesting. Lage just got past, though. Lage goes into fourth, and now we have Lightning and GDC Chris are rounding out the top three. I cannot believe it. Amarth is going to go back, and I think there was a crazy accident, though. Oh, my word. What is going on here?
Lightning missing his braking, just missing it altogether. Well too late, out on the gravel. So he had that advantage over Lage just for a second, and just like in qualifying, couldn't capitalize on the advantage. It's going to be Roadrunner sitting there in the lead of this race and thinking, well, this is going well. Just have to hold it together now.
You want to talk about throwing a wrench in everything. The wet option in Nürburgring certainly has been that, and you have to be very cautious about those bumps too, because if you get hit, that could really send you off spinning into the side. Lage is in 11th place right now. Lage is in 11th.
Absolutely unbelievable, isn't it? And this is the point when you start to see these very, very experienced players showing their class. You know, it's going to be about staying calm. We are moving slowly through the field. Don't assume you're faster than other people. Treat everyone with respect. There you go, a nice move from Lage there, up into 10th. Treat them with respect, move slowly, and don't make mistakes.
There is a good thing that no one was actually, it was Lightning. Good thing no one was there to be able to answer back, because he was off on the grass. GDC Chris, apologies, GDC Chris in second place. Roadrunner, though, he's built up an incredible lead. I can't believe it.
That 300-foot cushion that Roadrunner has will just give him so much confidence now. He'll be able to just settle into his rhythm, take his race pace. He can lose 50 feet, gain 50 feet here and there, and just relax. And often, you know, when you turn your racing down a little bit, when you start to become a bit more smooth, go at 80%, 70%, the lap times tumble too.
Weather condition definitely throwing everyone for a loop, though. Lightning in fifth. Kaiserwolf fourth. Kaiserwolf looking to continue to add on to that incredible run that he's had thus far. We haven't really talked about him all that much. He was in 12th, now in fourth, in a great position. If he can continue to maintain this going into race 3, that's huge for him, man. He was in 12th.
Yeah, agreed. Kaiserwolf here, you know, what a great performance from him. And he's somebody who has just been showing his class tournament after tournament recently. He's really a fast driver and a great driver too. Very good judgment. So I think, yeah, I'm happy to see Kaiserwolf up there, actually. A real safe pair of hands for a good battle.
Especially with the way that this weather has been panning out. Virus, so looking to creep on the right side there over to his perspective to see if he can overtake Lightning. Lightning looking to play defense, and things have kind of leveled out here. We've got some normalcy in this.
I mean, lap 2 of 6, everyone's going to want, you know, they all know you're only going to get points at the end of this race. They just want to run their race, get their pace down, get rhythm, and just keep it safe.
And I think everyone's comfortable now, right? They're comfortable. They're like, all right, we know what the turns are coming here. We know how to brake here. I think the first lap just threw everyone for a loop. They just weren't expecting it, Alex. Just like emotion that came out of that.
No, I agree. 5th place though, and 4th. I think Kaiserwolf is starting to get under a little bit of pressure there. Just up ahead, but Lage, I mean, he's already up to 9th. He can do this. You can see that's a gaggle of cars up ahead of him. He's got a chance to get through them, but it's just going to be a matter of rolling those dice, hoping that those sort of waves of cars part, and he has a shot at this.
Virus here right on the heel of Fox. He's getting bumped from behind by Car Zermatt. Going into the straight here. Lap 3 starting. He's going to have Roadrunner building himself an incredible lead here. You gotta love it if you're Roadrunner. Lightning, though, looking to get right inside. Kaiserwolf, he challenges him, sends it right back to 5th, and Lightning in the discussion yet again, but Kaiserwolf's going to be able to establish himself one more time. This is just a shootout going on here between Lightning and Kaiserwolf. Lightning, though, is going to win it out. He gets that 4th position. Things were not looking really good for Lightning, but he's reacted very well. He's recovered. Again, a little bit of that swerve there. You saw it there, Ali, in that turn, in that left turn. It was pretty.
Yeah, agreed. I mean, they're both struggling to find their lines around these very deep puddles that appear at the Nürburgring GP when it's wet. You know, it just breaks down the amount of track that you have to play with. You have to avoid them. Maybe you have to file back in, even if there was a move open, say, in the day. When it's starts raining, yeah, you're going to have to file back in.
GDZ Chris maintaining himself in the second position. Rossi added on that. He started in the 6th in the first race, and now look at him here in podium, in top 3. Maybe getting a little cheeky here.
We saw Chris make a mistake earlier on in this race. You know, he's potentially off his rhythm a little bit here, a little bit outside of his comfort zone. Rossi, though, you know, he's a great driver, especially in changing conditions. He's able to feel the grip. He's able to work out the limit of the car lap on lap as the track, evolves around him.
One thing I have to say, man, for Roadrunner, what a run he's put together here. Think about this. First time really being in this position in the pole, top, really playing the line wonderfully, braking when he needs to. Just, it seems like he was born to just race in the wet condition. You gotta love it if you're a Roadrunner, if you're a fan of Roadrunner, if you're one of those people who voted for him in the poll. You have to be quite satisfied with yourself here.
I agree.
Roadrunners come out to race, man.
I agree 100%. You know, you can see in the poll, you know, it's still Leish Lightning. It's still people looking at these races saying this is going to go the way it's always gone. And Roadrunner's just coming here, bucking the trend, and he's just doing a beautiful job at it as well. Super safe driving. I mean, he's such an expert, especially in these kinds of conditions.
This is, again, really disciplined skill that we're seeing out of Roadrunner. He's building upon that lead, and then one of the favorites, Leish, now in that 8th position. This weather condition really threw him off. It threw off everyone, but Leish was the one who suffered the most. He had a brilliant race in that first one, but just hasn't been able to put it together here because of all the just insanity that's going on.
Agreed. And he'll be frustrated looking forward right now, Leish. Previously, that gaggle of cars going all the way up to second place GTZ Chris was very tight, very grouped together. Now, as we're approaching the midpoint in this race, a little bit past it, in fact, they're starting to spread out. And what that's meaning is that, you know, if there's a mistake up ahead, if there's a gap for him to shoot in, he's not going to make up as many positions as he might have previously.
Yeah, this is where things get interesting because points are going to play a factor here, right? Because of this, now Roadrunner, he gets himself that first place position and he gets the second. He's in the lead firmly. Leish has to have an incredible run in race 3 if things continue to go the way they're going right now for him to get that back in the discussion to win this race, to win this grand final. Excuse me.
It's incredible to think, isn't it? And you don't want to jinx it or anything like that, but at the same time, AMS, a very small team compared to esports and cars, compared to TX3, the previous winners of the Forza Racing Championship. Alien Motorsport here doing an absolutely brilliant job, leading the way. Of course, it's not over until we cross that checkered line and the points are all counted, so nothing is won just yet.
4 laps down. We're about to, put a bow and send this one on its way as we get ready for the 5th lap. Lightning just doing everything he can to stay in this one. He ends up in the 3rd position. That's still pretty good, still pretty solid, but he wants those extra points. Maybe he looks to overtake Chris. If there's someone who can do it, it is Lightning. But GDZ Chris has been doing a brilliant job on defense, holding himself steady, not giving Lightning much to work with, and that's what you can expect out of Chris here.
Yeah, it definitely is. That's it. It's a slide, though.
Oh, and I feel like I kind of jinxed him on that one. That is unfortunate because Chris, he struggled on that turn before as well, and he didn't have anyone right behind him to strike. Lightning, though, right on it, saw him go wide, and was like, oh, all I got to do is just brake early, take this turn nicely, and I'm in 2nd place.
You can't afford inconsistencies like that at this level of competition. Chris, he's been on the grass earlier on this race. We've seen him miss turn 1 a couple of times now. He just needs to lock in and absolutely hit every apex, hook up every corner, because otherwise, people like Lightning, people like Rossi, they're going to punish him.
Yeah, he's in a shark pit here in between these 2 drivers. He's got to be very cautious about this here. Every single turn counts, but more so with the wet option in Nürburgring. There we go. Going into this right. Rossi looking. He thinks he has an opportunity, but Chris is just going to hold him off there. And he didn't really dive much on that one. So Rossi waiting. He's not counting his chickens before it hatches here. He's just going to play this one safe. And I think he's expecting Chris to also screw up. That's really what he's looking for. I don't think it's going to be more Rossi forcing the issue. It's going to be Chris buckling down in the pressure. I think he can hold it off, but again, the struggle's real.
I agree. I mean, Rossi was someone we saw getting a penalty in New York, and that's very uncharacteristic from him. He's an incredibly patient driver. He's somebody who's able to just look at the gap ahead, wait there, wait for his opportunity, and then pounce. And so it's all about getting this tournament experience. Maybe he's now looking at this in a different way, coming into these offline events with a different attitude.
We mentioned before about Lage. He was in the 9th position, managed to fight his way out into the 6th. Not bad from the from the numerous time champion there. Lightning though has got to defend himself, and there you go, Chris. I respect that. He forced Lightning into that situation. Had to make him cut in early. He was trying to go in for the inside, but this is where it all comes down for Chris. We're in the final lap here, and he has to hit this turn, and this turn has been tough for him.
Something I'm super curious about, watching all of these races going around. Someone's had Chris there.
Love it, love it. He's going in the outside too. He's getting a little bit on the tires there. Lightning those holding this one, and he managed to fend that one off. And I think at this point now it's going to be a safe race for Chris if he continues on this pace here. But he's looking to go on the inside. Lightning defends it, holds it down yet again. And Lightning and Chris, man, those two just going back and forth really.
They are. They'll be at this all the way through. Yeah, something I'm really curious about is how much practice all these drivers put into these final 4 races. You had to go through a large number of other races, I think 12 in total, to even get to this point. So, do you think a lot of them committed their time to practicing it, or maybe focused on the ones that would get them here, and they were like, well, once I'm there, I'll kind of wing it?
Yeah, I think that the second option more so, right? You have so much in front of you, so much driving to do, that you really don't want to get ahead of yourself. But with a condition like the wet option in this track, I would imagine that the drivers thought about this. They're just like, man, I gotta at least be prepared for this. But maybe not the other ones, because I'm gonna run into it throughout the competition. But this wet option is certainly one that, if I were them, I would have prepped myself for. Even if, there wasn't a chance I was gonna make it, I'm still like, I have to be prepared for this, because you never know. I think that's where a guy like Roadrunner, who is just gone, he is bolting out of there. I think he put that work into this.
I mean, it's coming down to its up, just going to his shame. Behind him, though, it's still Chris and Lightning battling it out.
This is where the pressure's going to get on there, man. Ali, Lightning, he's got to be able to hold this one off. Hits the right turn beautifully. Doesn't really look to be in any immediate danger, but now going into the final turn in this lap. Can Chris strike while the opportunity presents itself? No, Lightning's going to be able to defend it, and he comes out of that exit wonderfully, and that is basically going to do it. Roadrunner will secure himself the victory, getting the critical 25 points. What a race there. Lightning gets second, Chris with third, Rossi with fourth. Lage now with fifth, so he was able to overtake Box there. He was in the 6th position. Box with 6 as well. Kaiser Wolf with 7, and there you have it, folks. We got ourselves a race here. We got ourselves a competition, baby. I love it.
Yeah, this is going to be so close. Pushing forward then. Roadrunner taking that win provisionally, of course. The stewards will have to take a look at all of the race conduct from all the drivers before putting their stamp of approval on those results.
Whew. I don't know, Ali. I don't know, Ali. We got ourselves a competition here. We thought that we were going to see the battle of Lightning and Lage, but Roadrunner ain't having none of that. He's getting in that conversation. He wants people to recognize that he is here to win, to take home the lion's share of a $100,000 prize pool. That's a lot of cash, man, to win here in Le Mans.
It is, and so cool under pressure. We're in an offline tournament situation here. I don't think Roadrunner's done one of those before. I think this is his first one. He's just showing up here, just like Cucumber Man, so cool.
Oh, you're the worst. You're the worst. All right, well, let's go ahead and take a look at the provisional results. If you're just joining us here, you missed quite the race, especially that first lap. Roadrunner is going to take that first position, netting himself 25 points. Keep in mind, these are all provisional results. We have to wait for Gfinity for the final adjudication process here. But the real story of this race, besides Roadrunner's incredible run, was Lage. Lage was knocked all the way down to the 9th position. I think it was also maybe 10th position at one point. fighting his way up to 5th. Some big points gained, without a doubt. He needed that in order for himself to stay in the conversation and take that first place prize.
He did. And Lage is someone who we know can do it. You know, he doesn't get flustered, doesn't panic, doesn't throw on, ugly moves that the marshals are going to call out on. He just takes his time and moves steadily forward. He will be back in that top pack by the end of the races.
No doubt about it.
There's no doubt there. Yeah.
We've seen him do it time and time again, but let's take a look at some of the Michelin moments in that race. That first lap basically was a highlight reel of just insanity because of all the things that just took place. People were swapping so many spots, and then Roadrunner got first, never looked back.
Exactly. A wet race around the Nürburgring GP is always going to be about unforced errors. It's about making sure that you just keep it neat and tidy, because as long as you're not sliding off the line, you can more or less keep someone behind you.
Man, what a race. Lage fighting his way back into the discussion. The good news is we do have Scott on the sidelines with Lage to get his thoughts on that race. Scott, what do you got?
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Yes, here with Lage. Lage, little Mother Nature, little wet track out there. What happened to you?
Someone touched me at the start in the first turn, so since then it was a disaster. I got pushed, then I was third, and I did some mistakes as well, and then back to 10th, and
What happens when you drop that far back? Do you get frustrated, or you just keep pushing on?
Frustrated for sure. I will keeping pushing. But frustrated.
So now that you're off the pole, what's going to be your strategy going forward?
Yeah, it's going to be another story.
Well, guys, Mother Nature's still undefeated.
Yeah, I'll tell you, Mother Nature, she's a cruel one. You gotta look out for that one. Oh boy, yeah, Lage. You can see it right there. He's mad. He's frustrated for due reason. He was in the pole position, lost out on it.
It's going to be that
tough.
Yeah, don't let that get into your driving, Lage. That's what it's about. Keep that class, keep that skill, and the form. Go moving forward. You can be as frustrated as you want with yourself, but the second that starts changing your control inputs, starts changing the amount you're accelerating or the way that you're turning into corners, that's when it starts to become a problem.
Yeah, it was a tough race without a doubt. But throughout this competition, though, a lot of these drivers they've just been looking for those key opportunities. One driver in particular I want to talk more about, but we haven't had much of a chance to because he's kind of been in the middle of the pack. Has been Attax Johnson. The good news is, though, we are going to hear from him. Scott actually has Johnson with him. Scott, what's going on?
Yeah, one of the veterans in our field, Johnson here. What's it like being out on a wet track?
Very slidey and different braking positions, and that's causing chaos.
Pretty sure you're excited to get in the, in the grand final. How's it going so far? You've been sort of at the back of the pack.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm fighting with some technical issues over the weekend, so I'm already happy to be in the final, so it's all right.
Tell me more. Tell me more about these technical issues.
It has something to do with controllers and steering and consoles, but it's detailed and nobody would understand it right now. So it's fine.
I heard a lot of chatter among the folks after going through a little night race last night, and now Mother Nature coming in on a wet track. How do you feel personally? You think you should be on a dry track for these grand finals?
I don't know. I actually don't care. It's part of the game, so we should be able to drive it, but it's like the first time I think we do this, and it's definitely something different. I think we just need to get used to it, and that's all.
You heard it here, guys. Just need a bit more time to get used to these conditions.
Yeah, this is different. This is something that you typically don't really get to see all that much. In New York, we had a very different format as well, where the grid remained the same. No matter what the result was, the grid remained the same, and that did benefit a lot of these drivers, especially guys like Lightning as well, who really benefited from being able to go into that. I think it was in the second or the pole position in the finals there. But now that we have the change in the grid, we have the weather conditions, I would say this is like a level up of competition, Ali.
It is. Race after race, these drivers are able to build on their performance. It doesn't matter who qualified where, who did what in previous rounds. It's all about now. You can come in last place, build your way up, race after race, and get your way into that top pack. And if you've got the form on the day, you're taking home the prize.
Yeah, that's right. That's right, folks. We're going to, of course, get the final results with the adjudication process from the marshals over at Gfinity. And I believe one of those crafty mixer trivia questions for you guys back at home. We'll get to that in a little bit. But for the time being, though, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, plenty more action coming at you live from Le Mans. We'll see you in just a few.
Welcome to E3 2017. Starting on November 7th, Xbox One X joins the Xbox One and the Xbox One S when it launches worldwide. Even if you haven't made the jump to a 4K TV yet, the new 4K games you see on stage today will look better on your 1080p TV than anything you've seen. You're also going to be able to play all of the biggest cross-platform blockbusters on Xbox One. And every game will play great across the Xbox One family. And on Xbox One X, runs every single game you've seen even better.
Play it on Xbox One.
Live from Le Mans, France, and I happen to have been at, I was there for the Xbox press briefing. It was awesome. I squealed like a little girl numerous times. I loved it.
It looked awesome. It looked awesome. Did you see the Porsche as well?
Yeah, it was sick. It was sick. It was also great seeing Marina and Shannon there as well. It actually threw me off. I didn't even know. I yelled out loud. They couldn't hear me because I was all the way in the back. I was in the nosebleed section. But I was like, Shannon! You know, I was like super excited. That was the sound I made. No one heard me, man. You know, but maybe next time I'll be in the pits down there too. It was awesome, man. There's so many people just cheering and going wild. It was insane. It was really cool. It was my third press briefing that I went to. I always make it a point when I go to E3 to go to the press briefing.
It looks fantastic. It looks such a big show and such an epic way of welcoming in something new like this. You know?
Yeah, no, that's right. Speaking of Shannon, by the way, we have Shannon over there on the side. Shannon, what's going on?
What you don't know actually is I did hear you when I was up on the stage, so thank you so much for that, for the cheering. Now watching that briefing, it is hard not to get goosebumps. I am standing here with Phil Spencer himself. What do you think about that briefing? That was a huge moment last week for you guys.
Yeah, great moment for Xbox fans, 42 games, Xbox One X. The support we get from the communities is fantastic. It's great to be there with all the fans. There's just them cheering from the nosebleeds, as I heard.
That's right, and it's also a week of firsts for many other things as well. So we're here at Le Mans, and this is your first time for the 24 Hours of Le Mans. What has this been like for you this weekend?
I think it's the first for both of us, right? We've been with 270,000 people here, one of the biggest racing event in Europe. And to have the Forza Racing Championships here in the middle of it is incredible. It's warm, as you know, this week, but the racing, going to bed, hearing them still racing, waking up maybe a couple hours later, and they're still racing. It's an incredible race.
And let's get a little bit more specific too, where we are specifically here. We are at the pavilion for the Forza Racing Championship. So what has that been like to kind of get here, feel it, see it?
Well, the first thing, and I don't know if people can actually hear this, but you and I, we can hear the race. Like, that's how close we are. We're right here in the infield. The Forza Pavilion here is fantastic. Our partnership with Le Mans and with Porsche has made all this possible. And to have our racers treated just like the racers that are out on the track just shows where esport is going. And I think that's a great step for gaming.
Yeah, and we saw you the other day at the drivers meeting for the Forza Racing Championship drivers. So what did you learn being able to hang out with them for a bit?
Yeah, some of them I know, and I've met them before. You know, the thing that's always cool when you see them come together is they get along, they're friends. Obviously, they compete. They're out there, and they all want to win. They all want to be on the podium, but they also all pull for each other, and they kind of talk about what they're learning and just the enthusiasm for being here at Le Mans for the first time. So it's kind of this good competition, cooperation, friendship all at the same time. It's what it should be about.
That's right. And you did say, this is my first Le Mans 24-hour race, first time out of the country. So big for me, but also I was a part of the briefing, and that was my first time at E3. So we have a video kind of capturing me behind the scenes there. Let's take a look. Hey guys, I'm here backstage at the Xbox E3 briefing. Super excited to be here. I'm going to be a part of the briefing. Thought I was going to be nervous, but I'm not. No shakes. Ready to go. Can't wait to reveal all of the really cool stuff that we've got planned. So wish me luck.
May I present the 2018 Porsche 911 GT2 RS.
I'm Shannon McIntosh. I'll be pushing the GT2 RS to its limits on the sun-baked streets of Dubai. So as you can see, we are shutting it down here. The show is over. We've been here rehearsing for the last 2 days, so we've gotten up on stage and it's been kind of an empty auditorium. The nerves were kicking in last night. My mind was just going through, what was I gonna say? How was I gonna feel? Getting here today, the excitement was real. The energy was here. You could feel it when you walked in today. Coming out here on stage was phenomenal. There was so much excitement and energy, and I felt natural. I didn't feel nervous. Fans were so excited, not only to see the new Xbox One X, but also Forza Motorsport 7. And for me, playing the new GT2 RS on stage there was amazing. It was so vivid in that 4K. It was crisp. I felt like I was in it. But also, I'm kind of excited because I actually haven't seen the new GT2 RS up close. So let's go see if we can find it. I want to see what it looks like with my own eyes. So we're down here on the stage, and I have found the car, but I've also found Dan Greenewalt. Dan, today was a huge day. Tell me a little bit about what all we heard today.
What a historic moment. It was incredible. Unveiling the console, unveiling the car, unveiling the game. I mean, this was really so cool. And it's historic not just for games, it's historic for the car industry itself.
This car is beautiful. What do we have going for it? We got some big things coming up next week as well, huh?
Well, this is just the beginning of E3, so we're going to be showing people more and more about Forza Motorsport 7, of course, this weekend heading to Le Mans. So what a great week to be part of Forza. It was not only the unveil of the game, it was the unveil of the Xbox One X. And that console is so powerful. What you see in the game is just beautiful, but we've reimagined all parts of racing. It's so exciting. I mean, we all just feed off the excitement of our fans to give them an incredible experience.
So speaking of amazing experiences, we've got amazing experiences coming up this week. Le Mans, what's that?
The 85th running of Le Mans, and now for the first time in history, an esport. Forza Racing Championship will be crowned at the podium. I mean, that is so exciting. I'm a huge fan of racing, but obviously Le Mans is just in my blood. I won't be there this weekend, but you will, so you're gonna have to tweet me lots of pictures of what's going on.
I will. Can't wait. We're gonna head to Le Mans pretty soon, so you guys stay tuned.
I've been in the video game industry for working in it maybe like 7-8 years now, and I never got to do work in the Xbox press briefing. So I'm really jealous of you, Shannon. we're not friends anymore. Just letting you know. Just throwing it out there. Just, you know, maybe next year, maybe I'll like sweet talk Phil, and Phil will let me in. Let
That's
us
how it
in.
works. That's
Oh
how it
yeah,
works.
you're here
Yeah.
too. Let you in as
Hey,
well.
man.
I'm just messing around. It was awesome, and I had a really good time there, man. It was so sick seeing all that stuff. That 4K screen. Although I was in the, I was over there in the nosebleeds. That 4K screen they had there, man, was absurd. I need that in my living room.
It looked enormous.
I don't think my wife will let me have it.
Incredible. Yeah, it's just, yeah. I mean, I couldn't imagine playing on something like that. Big. I don't know where I'd have to look.
It'd be insane. It'd be insane. All right, guys. Well, we know you want to know the final results. Let's go ahead and take a look. And Roadrunner in first, GDC Chris in second, and Lightning dropping down to 7th position with a 5-second penalty. That gives Rossi, Lage, Box, and Kaiserwolf the up. Huge.
That is astonishing. I don't know if we caught that on the stream. I'm trying to think back quickly through everything. That's a big penalty.
Oh man,
it's a tough penalty as well, because you can see 5 seconds added to his race time is enough to have him slipping down a very large number of positions there. So a big change of points the Lightning's going to receive there for the end of race 2.
I have to say, like, it's not going to get any easier for Lightning. We're at the halfway point now.
Yeah.
Getting ready for race 3, just a little bit. But what that means really for Lage is that he's in 4th position going into race 3. He's right back into discussion.
Yeah.
You have to be really cautious if you're Rossi. Rossi, you mentioned before, race is a very safe race, but Lage will take advantage when he finds that chance.
I mean, Lage here, it's worked out beautifully from him. Yeah, moving up to 4th position is fine. That's second row of the grid. You can take the lead from there if you've got a good enough move, you know, at the start of a race. I mean, yeah, so really tough for Lightning. 2 races remain, and he's going to have to absolutely bring it now if he wants to walk home with this win.
This is where champions are born, but I do want to get more information on it. The good news is we have Brian on the sidelines to discuss this. Brian, what's going on?
Yeah, you saw that penalty on Lightning, and we're not exactly sure what happened, so we brought out Evan Thorogood, who's on the Gfinity adjudication team. Surprising that Lightning got a penalty there. They were both fighting, but what happened?
So what happened was, unfortunately, Lightning pushed Lage a little bit off, which led to Lage dropping back really far. We've seen some incidents where there might be only a tiny bit of tap where you might push somebody off a little bit, but then that player gets really severely affected by it. Unfortunately, the pack was so tight that Lightning ended up dropping a lot of positions because of those 5 seconds.
Yeah, so you saw what happened. Some contact results in a penalty for Lightning. Look, he was fighting through, but so was Lage. Lage did a great job to come back as far as he did, but the points are affected, and we've got 2 races left, guys.
Thank you so much, guys. And again, it's a heartbreaker. I'm a Lightning fan, you know, and he's been tearing it up. But you know what? Now the challenge really starts right now. Here we go, folks. Time for race number 3 as we get into the thick of things. It's going to be on Silverstone GP, and these drivers are going to be racing in the Porsche GT3 RSR, and we are off.
Yeah, just slapping that 455 horsepower onto the track there, straight through those massive rear tires these GT3 cars have. AMS Roadrunner is going to keep his lead through turn 1. Chris and Lage looking relatively well behaved behind him, but that's Lage already on the outside.
What? He's challenging him right away, goes into the 2nd position, and Lage is right back in it, folks. I can't believe it. Now Roadrunner's going to have a tall order in front of him, holding off the French Superman Lage, who's just trying to cement himself as the best ever with the way that he's racing.
Roadrunner's heart will be sinking a little bit right now because Lage is on the hunt. 2nd position, and just looking forward, there's hardly any gap there. He's going to close in on Roadrunner most likely, and those 2 will have an almighty scrap for the coming 7 laps.
And Lightning is going to have to deal with Rossi here. Lightning, by the way, was in the 7th position, fought his way to 5th. Rossi is going to be a little ways behind him, though, so he's got to make up a lot of ground here. I do want to see what Lightning's going to be dealing with in just a little bit, because Lightning certainly has his work cut out for him here. Goes a little bit blind there as well. Rossi, though, go, getting challenged by Kaiserwolf on the right side. He's going to have the inside here to his advantage, and look at the way he's just hitting those turns with so much speed and so much just a commanding presence. He's going to continue to maintain himself now on board with Lightning.
It's incredible to watch these high downforce, not quite production car, but GT car racers pushing through Maggots and Beckett's like that. We're now on the way into Stowe. This is a crested right-hander. Everyone's going to try and roll that speed through the apex and power out. I mean, Lightning here, 5th position right now. They're not running away. It's frustrating. Past Box, past GTZ Chris, he can see that battle for the lead.
Oh man, Roadrunner. He's got to hold off Lage here. And Lage, he's looking for any chance he can get, right? You see him bobbing and weaving. Goes on his right, not getting an opening. Goes on his left, same thing there. But if there's one time, one opportunity to strike, Lage will find it, and he will make it happen. Maybe this is it here, as he goes in, and this is exactly what you were looking for here. Lage is going to go on the inside, but Roadrunner's going to be able to defend himself now. And that was a little bit scary there for Roadrunner. Again, Lage, he's a savage, man.
Yeah, Roadrunner's a wily fox, though. I mean, he has been not going to make it anything like as easy as GTZ Chris made it for Lage. Fight all the way for this win, because he knows he's in with a shot for this massive prize.
Can we talk about Lightning here for a moment? Lightning goes right past Box, and he's doing the same thing. He's going up the pack. We have 7 laps here, and we're only in lap 2, and Lightning has already managed to get himself in the 3rd position, and that's exactly what happens here. I cannot believe what Lightning putting together here. This is phenomenal. This is like the best of the best. This is so exciting.
This championship is coming together incredibly, isn't it? I mean, Lightning there, moving up to 3rd position now, and up the road, that battle between Lage and Roadrunner will play right into his hands, because those two will be slowing each other up. Every time Lage makes an attack, every time Roadrunner has to defend, they'll slow up and give a few more feet to Car Lightning.
I think for this time for Lightning, it's just about proving why he's the best, why he's one of them. All these drivers, to be fair, are the best, why he's one of the best. That's incredible how he's able to just get himself right back in the conversation. He's in podium. He's in the podium. He's in the top 3. I can't believe it. But Lage now looking to attack here. Roadrunner continues to defend himself. Again, we saw it happen before. He struck. Roadrunner had to respond immediately. Just got to be very mindful of that. Beautiful take on the turns here. Goes right into it. Now Roadrunner going into this 3rd lap here. It's only 3 laps in, folks. We have 7 laps of racing, and so much has already happened. It's absurd.
Yeah, I mean, I'm so happy to see Roadrunner up there fighting with Lightning and Lage. I think there's a lot of people out there who knew he had this pace, who knew he had it in him. And it's great to see that proven here at the Forza Racing Championship. Yeah, it's going to be about what happens once Lightning catches up, because that's close. That's getting
close. Everything is here. 1 through 5, they all see each other. Typically, what we've seen in this competition, first place tends to just continue to go on, add on to the lead. Roadrunner has not had that breathing room just yet. So when we go into these turns, anything is possible here. Lage now, maybe he finds it. I don't know, but Roadrunner, he's just doing such a good job controlling himself, controlling these turns, goes right into this one here. And again, Lage not getting anything. Roadrunner, this is basically the race of his life at this point.
He is doing an incredible job here. Yeah, Lage piling on the pressure. See, he just wants to connect the radiator at the front of that Porsche to the rear exhaust of the one ahead. I mean, there's so little between them, and the pressure's so high. It's so difficult to make a mistake. Amazing driving.
Lightning, though, let's not forget about him. He was in the 7th position and has fought his way back into this. He's gaining, little by little, he's gaining. And the more that battle between Roadrunner and Lage continues, that just gives Lightning that opportunity to be able to get into their girls, into their, right on the bumpers, and maybe force mistakes. Very strong possibility, but I like that Lightning, he's going for it, man. He's taking the brakes a little early, or excuse me, a little late, to give himself a bit more speed coming into it. He has some good breathing room there.
All 3 of those at the front are running very, very similar lap times. 2:04, low 2:04, so 2:04.0, I think, for Roadrunner, 2:04.2 2 for Lightning, it's close enough, you know, that it makes no difference. Consistency will waver, you know, at about 0.3 a lap. So these guys are running very, very similar pace. It's going to be very close throughout this race.
Well, there's been a lot going on for the 1 through 5 position. Let's not forget about, you know, 6 through 12, because there's certainly been a lot going on there as well. Johnson's going to be in that 12th position here. That's unfortunate for him. And Zermatt as well, just not getting what he wants there. Force One's also been living in the backfield. Just hasn't found that chance to be able to move up the pack. It's been very difficult across the board.
It has. It's been difficult for Force One so far in this competition. It's his first offline event though, so it's a great experience for him. Still a very young driver in Forza Motorsport. Box though, saw him peaking there into the top 4 in this race, so that's fantastic for him after such a difficult start in the finals today. Box is back.
Look at this, Lage, he's basically on him. 15 feet separates 1 and 2, and Lage is just looking for anything. He's drafting him beautifully, looking to go into the outside here perhaps. Roadrunner has to be very mindful of this attack that's going to be coming from Lage. He holds this down there, and they're just whizzing right by these turns. He's going to go a little wide, Roadrunner. Lage, 32 feet now. Continuing to progress through this one. You're going to see them speed right through this.
Maggots and Beckett's here, just that right, left, right, then we're going to go round onto the main straight. That's a beautiful line from Lage. You can see he's got a little bit of a run in terms of speed now. Roadrunner, he's not going to leave a Porsche's width between him and that white line on the right-hand side of this road, because Lage will be right up in there.
And look at the way Lage is, he's creeping around, right? He's creeping outside. He's, at this point now, it's not necessarily about getting the draft, it's just about forcing Roadrunner into a mistake. You can see he's like, he's looking for it. Look at the way that he's maneuvering on the outside. He wants him to take that risk and move in a very, you know, uncharismatic way. But here we go, Lage, he's gonna go into it, and he manages to make it happen. I cannot believe it. The French Superman has found himself in first place for Roadrunner. Let's not forget about him quite yet, though. He's right there, but never mind. Lage has forgotten about him, as he has now secured himself the first position. Unfreaking believable. That is Forza Motorsport at its finest.
Pure class there from Lage. He just bided his time. Patience was just the name of that game, and he made that move happen at the end of the track. Nice wide line, and just outran Roadrunner on the inside there. I mean, Roadrunner, he was never going to be able to make that defense happen on the way into turn 1 on the outside of that. And he's going to have to do it all over again.
You saw it happen. You saw the way Lage was just poking about, right? Got Roadrunner to just freak out just a little bit. Found that chance and dived right in. But while all that was going on, though, guess who progressed further? Lightning. He's right there. 38 feet separates him and Roadrunner. Good news is, though, I want to actually figure out what the point differential is going to be, especially now that Lage has been able to take first place. Brian, I know you wanted to talk about that. What's going on there?
Yeah, so I don't have the point totals themselves, but I was just told by the adjudication staff that if results stay the way they are right now, Lage will be ahead by 1 point at the end of this. So, again, if things stay as they are now, Lage will be ahead by a point.
1 point separates this competition. This is the best you could possibly ask for, man. This is the stuff that just makes you so excited. It's just an esports fan to see competition the way that it is here.
You've got to remember, Lage has never won a Forza Racing Championship by more than 1 point. You know, he's his hero, Alain Prost. You know, he says win a race in the slowest possible time, because that's the most consistent way to do it. And I think that's the way he looks at these championships. Comes out here, gets the lowest possible amount of points necessary in order to take home the best prize.
That's insane. Insane. We're going into lap 6 now, and Lightning right on Roadrunner's tail. And Lightning strike here. That's the question. It's going to go right into this. And Roadrunner has to defend himself yet again. Arguably the 3 best drivers here, all going up toe-to-toe against one another. Lightning's going to go on the inside here. Roadrunner's going to be able to establish himself as they make their way into the left. Good job there from Roadrunner. Holding off Lightning for the time being. But still, look how close this is, Ali. Look how close this is.
Lightning has done a great job. You know, if you look at that, look at the track map in the bottom left there. You can see a few people being left behind this front pack. Lightning had his opportunity. He needed to bang those lap times in, lap after lap. He's done that. He's managed to not only stay with his front pack, but actually bridge a gap that was there in the first place. He's now there, he's relevant, he's putting the pressure on Roadrunner. I mean, whether he can pass Roadrunner quickly enough to threaten Lage before the end of this race is another question altogether.
Gonna get himself some good draft there, maybe gain a little bit Lightning. We'll see if that's the case. Now back to the mid-pack here. Envirus, we haven't really talked about him all that much, but he's gonna be in 7th. JSR Rossi, 6th place for him. GDC Chris, the guy that was in 2nd position coming into this one, now fighting for his life there in that 5th spot because Rossi, he's mentioned before, he's a safe driver, but hey, when that opportunity presents itself to strike, you do it. Rossi will make it happen.
The great thing about Envirus, he's in the top 12 Forza races in the world. He's racing cockpit. We're sitting here spectating from the back of the car, but he's sitting there, in his view, with the hands on the wheel in front of him. He's got a little radio fan just to his right. Obscured visibility, all of that stuff there, and it's so impressive to see him up there racing with the likes of JSR Rossi and beating, for the time being, the likes of Karaman.
Yeah, really, when you think about it, it's all about comfortability, right? How do you feel? Are you comfortable with the camera views? I prefer to play with that third-person camera, but I know a lot of folks who play off the hood. They love that view, or they like to go inside of the inside of the car itself, really get the full experience in there. So much really to take into consideration. Now Lightning, as we go back into the top of the pack here, it will skid on those tires as well, and pressure certainly on for all 3 of these guys. This is the final lap in this race, but Lage, ladies and gentlemen, unbelievable what he was able to put together.
Brilliant stuff. I mean, the gaps starting to emerge now just a little bit. Maybe a couple of sloppy corners from Lightning, just causing that to space out with Roadrunner. It's the same though between Roadrunner and Lage just up the road. As you say, as Brian said, 1 point difference coming into the last race. That's more or less all that means is whoever's ahead. It all comes down to one race, and that'll be coming up at the start of this one.
Race 4 will determine who our champion is. It's not about points. It's not about, like, oh yeah, they were able to get 3 wins and, then nothing's going to stop them. No. That 4th race is going to be everything. And I can't wait for the track that we're going to close it out on as well. Oh my goodness. Oh, wait a minute. Lightning, though. That was not good. You saw the little drift there for a brief moment. That would have been absolutely horrific if he would have just spun out there. I think at this point now, just race it safe, go for 3rd. It just, just get that 1st place at the end.
He'll be looking in his mirror, his car box 100 feet behind Lightning right now. And he could even make a lunge if Lightning makes another mistake. I mean, this is, that wasn't good at all for Lightning. Yeah, as you say, just take it. Just take 3rd now, play it safe, run that car home to the last chicane and get it over the line. Points is points, and you can make it up in the final race.
Yeah, with how close this is, just take what you can, man. And that's going to do it there. Lage, I cannot believe it. He's going to get that 1st place pole position here, ladies and gentlemen. Roadrunner right behind him there. Lightning in 3rd. 4th for Box. 5th, GDC Chris. 6th, Rossi. Envire 7th. Amar 8th. Heiswolf 9th. Zermatt 10th. Force 1 11th. And all the way in the back, Johnson at 12th. And 1 point separates these drivers from a 1st place finish and the chance to raise the trophy at the Le Mans podium. This is amazing.
You can feel it in the room. You can feel it in the room. It's tense in here.
We've actually, we don't have a lot of seating room in here, and people are just standing in the back just watching this because of how intense it is, man. This is sick.
This is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. Yeah, so it all comes down to this, all those weeks of qualifying, all those rivals, leaderboards, those races.
One race.
One race.
One race. Let's go ahead and I believe we have the provisional. Oh, actually, no. We have Michelin moments. Let's go ahead. Let's go into that bad boy there. Because, I mean, at this point now, Michelin might as well just sponsor Lage. At this point with this one.
He's put on an amazing show today, hasn't he? Lage putting the pressure on there, piling it onto Roadrunner. Eventually making his move. Is this it just here? There we go. Final corner. Just ran it up the side and there, Roadrunner couldn't do anything.
He had nothing. He had nothing to give. tried his absolute best, and he also braked early on that one too. Lage even braked late going into that turn. That's how much confidence he had. There are no lines here, so a lot of guys would drive with the brake line or the racing line to kind of just give you like an idea of like what you have. None of that there. It's all off of instinct.
That's what makes Roadrunners so strong in a way. I mean, we've mentioned this in previous commentaries, but he's been a long time running with no line. He just likes it. And look, to me, that's like liking pain. But he likes it. He's been doing it for many Forza games now. Absolutely natural at it. Knows all of the little divots of these courses.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, one of the contenders new to no line. One of the contenders a very, very old figure with it.
Thriving in this atmosphere, indeed. Let's go ahead and take a look at the provisional results here. Keep in mind, not the final, because the marshals over on the Gfinity side have to, judge everything properly and ensure everything as is. But for the time being, though, Lage picks up 25 points, Roadrunner with 18, Lightning with 15. Certainly these three gentlemen are a huge storyline here, but Box fights his way back into the discussion now in that 4th place position. Good work overall across the board. This race could not, or this competition, this grand final could not be closer, literally.
I'm so glad you brought up Box. I rate him so highly as a driver. I think he's brilliant, so fast, a great overtaking driver as well, and somebody who had a lot of bad luck at the start of the night. He's now back up there, You can see his class. He's just worked his way back up, a couple of races, and now he's going to be fighting at that top pack once again as we enter the most important race of this whole championship.
Box could be a disruptor, we'll see. But I do want to get thoughts, though, from Lage and Lightning. I'm sure a lot of fans at home want to know what they're thinking. The good news is we have both of them with Scott over on the side. Scott, take it away.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. In here with Lightning and Lage. Start with you first, Lightning. The last race, you got a 5-second penalty. You want to address that?
Not even sure what I did, but I'm probably either just budged somebody a little too much, but we can't do anything about it, so oh well.
What was your mindset going into this last race we just had? You started at 7th. You knew you needed to make a run. You knew you needed to catch this guy over here. If it stands, you're going to be down 1 point going into the final race.
I'm going to try my hardest, and I just was pushing it to the limit last race. Almost caught back up. I made a few mistakes, but just keeping my head up.
All right, over here on this side, Lage, if it stands, you have a 1 point lead. Some things haven't gone your way. Today, but you battled through. What's your mindset going into this last race?
Yeah, the last race went really good. I started 4th and then was 2nd after 2 corners only. So yeah, it went good. Yeah.
So going into this final race, you got this man over here. It's pretty much a rivalry right now. Whoever finishes on top, whether it's 2nd to 3rd, 1st or 2nd, is going to be taken home and going to be on the podium in Le Mans. How are you feeling about that?
Yeah, there's not only Lightning. Roadrunner is here as well, so it's a battle at 3.
And maybe don't leave Box out. Your teammate. You got all car esports and cars in the front row. Don't forget about your man Box.
Yeah, Box is 4th, I think, on the last grid. So yeah, it can be an advantage.
So we got a rivalry here. We always talk about it, 1v1, but there's still a lot of guys that got a chance in this one, gentlemen.
Thank you so much, Scott. And yeah, you can tell in the interview there with Lightning and Lage, they're feeling it, man. This is stressful. Not only is this situation, the 1 point difference, a big one, but let's not forget, these guys have been at it for hours. They had, 1 to 2 hours rest max to prepare for this final?
Yeah.
Come on.
I saw a few of them talking on the way back last night, very, very late, but late in the morning, really, more than anything else. And it's just like, jokes aren't funny anymore, by that point, you know what I mean? It's just like, there'll be perfectly good humor out there, and they'll just, nah, man,
that ain't me.
I'm done.
Oh, dear. Okay, well, good news with someone who isn't done is Shannon, thankfully, because we're going to need her for this next interview. Shannon, what's going on?
That's right, guys. I don't even know what hour we're at this point, which it doesn't really matter because things are getting intense. We were just talking about it. I'm here with the Forza Motorsport big boss, Alan Hartman. What do you think about all this crazy action?
It's Well, first off, just like I don't think anyone's got more than like 2 hours of sleep in the last day. It's a whirlwind out here. But wow, I mean, we all knew it'd be Liège and Lightning. They'd be in the mix, but my money's on the dark horse right now. Roadrunner, I think, is going to sneak in there. I think this is great. Yeah. This is great.
That's right. I had a chance to talk to Roadrunner yesterday, and so cool to see it kind of mixed up now. But let's get back to kind of high-level stuff. We're here at Le Mans, and this is a very special place for you. So what's it been like to come here and have the Forza Racing Championship here?
Well, this is my second time here. My first time in Le Mans was about 8 years ago, and it's just overwhelming. There's so much going on. There's so many stories that are forming, whether it's on the racetrack, in the pits. It's just exciting. And now to be here and have the esport event going on at the same time, it's a whole nother storyline to Le Mans. And we've had an incredible morning of racing. We've had the whole executive staff of the ACO, the event organizer here at Le Mans, in watching the events. We had the whole board membership of Porsche coming in right, unfortunately, as their #1 car pulled off to the side of the road. But they still came in, they watched the event, and then they rushed back to the pit. It's just, there's so many storylines here. We're just in the middle of, within the center of the world for motorsport. It's incredible.
Very good. Yeah, it is crazy, and it's my first time here as well. But you know, it's been a whirlwind of a week because we hung out last week at E3, where I was very fortunate to be a part of the briefing. But there's been so much excitement. So last week there were a lot of new things for Forza Motorsport revealed to the world. So tell me about what was going through your head before that happened and how exciting that has been.
Wow, it feels like today, doesn't it? It was earlier this week. Wow, so much excitement. You know, whenever you're building a game, you have to keep it all secret, and you're working, and you're not sure how it'll all turn out. And then you finally get to share it with the world, and you get the feedback. And, you know, isn't always the feedback you want, but our reception of Forza Motorsport 7 was incredible. Our reception on Xbox One X and 4K gaming was incredible. So all up, just a great E3 for us. Felt great.
Absolutely. And I said earlier, that was my first E3, so I actually had the chance to play Forza Motorsport 7, which was amazing. Can't wait for it to come out to everybody. But I also had the chance to take a look around at the Xbox booth, and so we've got some footage of that. See what you think. I am here at E3 at the Xbox booth. I had a chance earlier to hop on this awesome Forza Motorsport sled. Got a chance to check it out, have some fun. But I'm joined here with Bill Giese, creative director of Forza Motorsport. This is amazing. Are you excited?
I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I mean, we've had such a great response, and having the fans for the first time come to E3 and be able to experience these two hydraulic sleds, Forza Motorsport 7 and 4K HDR, it's awesome.
So much new. So what about Forza Motorsport 7 can we talk about that's new?
We've got over 700 cars, the largest collection of Ferraris, Porsches, and Lamborghinis of any racing game. Over 30 environments. We've got mixer integration, so players can now do spectating in 4K. We've reimagined everything. We've rebuilt the game for the Xbox One X to really feel what it's like to be in a car when it's driving at peak. Parts are going to rattle, you're going to hear the driveline flex. It's an awesome immersive experience.
So let's talk about the Xbox One X. Yes. That's pretty special. Talk about kind of what all that we're going to be able to see with that we weren't being able to do before.
Well, first and foremost, it's 4K. I mean, you're going to get the high-res textures, the lighting looks incredible, but, you know, this whole week I'm just singing the praises of HDR. Anyone who's ever seen this game running in HDR, it's like seeing HD for the first time. What's great about the game is whether you're on current 1080p TVs or, you know, TVs in the next few years where HDR is commonplace, the game looks incredible.
So I ran into Chris here from Forza, and he's going to give me a guided tour around the Xbox booth. So take me along, show me what we got here.
Yeah,
Yeah, well, I think we should call out the, my personal favorite first, Forza 7. I think you were playing that a little earlier.
Yes, it was awesome.
But yeah, let's see what else we have. We got a lot of cool games here. Crackdown 3, really excited for that. Terry Crews, one of my favorite actors. He'll be in that game, so that's pretty cool.
Cool, very cool. Is this your 10th time being here? Or?
I think this is my 8th year.
Okay,
yeah, so I've been here a few times. We got Sea of Thieves, a really cool display here.
Yeah.
Halo Wars 2, so I played a lot of that last year. Can't wait to play the new content that they're releasing.
Okay.
Might want to check out this. Not only are we showing off, of course, the new Xbox One X, but so many of our big games play on both Xbox and PCs.
Yeah.
This actually is a PC, a really, really awesome one, very powerful. So there's a really,
It looks
there's
like
a few
an
cool
engine.
ones. Yeah.
I'm like, what is that?
Lots of stuff, lots of hardware, lots of games. Just a really big booth.
Intense.
Yeah.
We do not mess around. Oh my gosh.
So over here we have some of our controllers and accessories. Here's my teammate and buddy Naveen. Naveen, you want to tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing here?
Yesterday we announced that we now have more options for fans to customize. We have more colors, we have metallic options, we have rubberized grip, and we also started shipping to UK, France, and Germany.
All right, so we have Assassin's Creed Origins right there.
Oh yeah.
Pretty excited for that one.
That Egyptian scene is beautiful.
Yeah, it looks like a lot of fun.
Thank you so much for the tour.
My pleasure.
So again, very jealous of Shannon because while I was at E3, I never got a chance to actually go inside of the darn place. Very sad.
Wow.
No, like cute tiny violin.
Right, exactly. You playing the world's smallest violin.
I was working one of the stages outside the whole time. I literally got inside for 1 hour. That was it.
That does suck.
But hey, it was 1 hour of greatness, and I was super happy about that. Okay, so time for the final results of race 3, and here we go. So nothing changed. It was a clean race across the board.
And we could see that, great driving up and down the field that time around. A lot of very, very sneaky moves, a lot of interesting play with defense and attack, but nothing that was too violent, nothing that was too scary. And I think that's something that the drivers are dialing out of their style now. They're seeing people getting penalized, no matter who you are, whether you're Lightning or not.
Yeah, I also see, while the final results are great, what I care about is the final point total, the leaderboard. Ooh, here we go. Oh my God, so Roadrunner and Lage, 61-62. GDZ Chris is in 3rd place with 40 points. Lightning with 36. Anything is possible here. If Lage and Roadrunner drop down, GDZ Chris or Lightning could very well win.
Yeah, possibly. It'd be a stretch for Lightning to pull that off, but for GDZ Chris, it is still a possibility. I think unless we see something too crazy, though, this is coming down to a 2-horse race. Roadrunner and Lage are the 2 people to watch here as we head into this final race.
It is all down to this, the final race of the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals. And what better place to close it out than Le Mans, La Sarthe, where we are right now. This is it, in the Porsche 919, which is in the race right now. It's so meta, and let's go into the final here, folks. It's time, and Roadrunner goes right up immediately into 1st.
Brilliant start there from Roadrunner, and that's exactly what he wanted. He's now controlling that line. That's a
snap! What is going on here? Some shenanigans.
Struggling to keep his car ahead of Lightning, so he's just put a couple of bumps on him. That's given 150 feet there to Roadrunner. But if anyone can get his head down and push on in this race, it's going to be Lage.
Yeah, I think Lightning recognized he had to back away there, man, because of those bumps came in, and certainly did not want to affect Lage there. Came in a bit too aggressive on the right side.
Through Tete Rouge, these guys for the first time. This is the fastest section on this circuit, flat out, all the way down to the Forza chicane. The next one coming along. This is the public road now.
This is insane. 1 point, guys. 1 point for Roadrunner and Lage, and Roadrunner has the lead right now. Oh boy. So that being said, Lightning in 3rd place here, and he's looking to maybe tackle Leish here, perhaps. He's really close to him. I mean, at this point now, the entire competition is so close. Everyone's still in this. It doesn't get any better than this, man.
GTZ Chris there as well, still relevant fourth position. What kind of an upset can third and fourth throw in here into this title battle? I mean, Carl Leish, he's got the draft. He can sit there in the moving air generated by Roadrunner's car. But it's not going to let him go by quite, I don't think. The second he ducks out of that, he's hitting still air again himself. So he's going to have to, he's going to have to do this in the corner. He's going to have to set this move up.
An opportunity, though, still has to rely on that draft coming from Roadrunner. Is Leish.
That is a fantastic car, isn't it? 900 brake horsepower, generated by an E4 turbocharged 2-liter engine.
All right, to the corner here, some light touching. Oh no, what is going on? Roadrunner spins out. I can't believe it, he recovers himself though. That was like an action movie moment there, so pretty good from Roadrunner, but oh my goodness, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. He's down to 9th.
Roadrunner, this is the time now for him to absolutely control that pace, just get back in his rhythm.
Lightning's in the lead.
And pull out whatever he possibly can.
Leish is in the back, Lightning's in the lead. Where's Leish? He's in 11th. Leish is in 11th. You said it. You said something insane has to happen. Insanity has ensued here. Leish is in 11th. Lightning's in 1st. Leish is shaking his head. He's pissed. He's so angry.
Losing out then both of them there. Leish and Roadrunner coming together on the first lap, just after the Mulsanne corner, just as they were exiting. High drama here because this could mean anything for the maths. Lightning up there in the lead, and you've got to think he can control it now.
Adjudication. I mean, I want to know if any, anything happened there. Oh my goodness. That is a heartbreaker. But Lightning's in 1st place now. Yeah. And with Leish in 11th, that means he gets no points if it maintains like this. I mean, don't get me wrong. Lassarth is a long track. We're not even done with the first lap yet, so there's still so much more to come.
I can confirm Roadrunner and Leish both getting away from that with no damage, so they can look forward in their races now with more or less a clean slate. The only way is forwards. Roadrunner a little bit of a drift there on the way out at the last of the 4 chicanes. Just trying to pressurize Zermatt here. He's in a really strong position, Roadrunner. With Leish falling back like that, if he gets any points at all, it's going to put him out of range, I think.
If he can get to 3rd, he'll...
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, he'll end podium 100%. And 4th even,
yeah.
I think. Yeah, with Leish in 11th. But Leish, actually, never mind. Just as I say that, I mean, why am I even saying that Leish is going to stay in 11th? Because when have we ever seen Leish be complacent with a placing there? He pushes forward to 10th. I can expect him to continue to climb his way up through here.
I completely agree. So absolute tension here. We're on board with Leish just after Tetra Rouge, heading down this main straight, and the speed here is unbelievable.
Once again, the French Superman doing everything he can to continue onward as he makes his way from 11th to 9th. Force 1 right in front of him. He is hungry. He wants to just continue to progress through here. He's moving around a little bit though, so he's not gaining the full top speed. But still though, we're talking, just mere just points there, right? With how fast these cars are moving.
I mean, this would be a champion's drive. If Leish can pull this out, this is going to be one of those moments that will go down in Forza Racing Championship history, because this is a big ask. Putting himself right back to Roadrunner there, who's just a few positions up the road.
Indeed. Here comes Roadrunner in 5th. In front of him is and then we actually make our way back down the Leish. Leish looked like he wanted to attack there, and GDZ Chris attacked Johnson, though, is actually now on the move right to his left. Leish has to be mindful of that, though, as we continue right down here. I believe, what was that? We just passed through the Forza chicane.
Absolute pedal to the metal. You can see that blue bar filled up there to the right of the speedometer. That tells you all about their throttle inputs. No subtlety to it whatsoever. This is Endurance here. Hold on, Rossi, man.
Rossi's in the discussion now. Right? He was in a 4th or 5th. What is going on here?
This race has been blown open. Absolutely blown open by that very, very early crash. I think a lot of people were caught up in it, but we didn't see. The most important, though, of course, were Roadrunner and Leish, who are now struggling to get back up there to the front. I mean, it's not many laps because this track is so long. 8.4 miles, 28 turns to get around this enormous circuit to the south.
GDC Chris trying to hold off Force 1 there. Out for Lage. Force 1 in front of him. Trying to get some critical grasp. Force 1's not really giving him much work, but he's drifting over left and right just a tad. So Lage can't really gain where he wants to. But if there's one person who can apply that pressure, get himself right back into this one, it's Lage. He's been in this position before. We've seen him fight his way through in New York. He started all the way at the bottom of the pack and ended up in fourth, I believe, fourth or fifth. So it's not, you know, foreign territory here.
That's all he's going to need to absolutely push though. If he can get past these two, Force 1 and Chris, begin to squabble as we go through the Forza chicanes once more.
Last lap. Last lap here, folks, in the Forza Racing Championship. This is when history's made here. Lage is looking to overtake Force 1, and he manages to do so here. He's gaining great speed. Goes right into this first turn, right into the Dunlop curve, and he's going to be in 8th position. Lots of people challenging him, though, from the left and the right, but he sees Chris right in front of him. Chris is going to drift just a little bit. Lage is going to pounce on the opportunity. It's going to go right to the 6 here, and that is what you want to see out of Lage, right to the turn. And Lage, once again, he's earning points. Every single person he passes, there's just more points, more opportunity. Oh my goodness. You know what? Speaking of the points here, I want to get Brian in this discussion. What do you have for us? Because what is it looking like right now, Brian?
Guys, it's really clear. Lage has one job. He's 1 point ahead. He has to beat Roadrunner, or Roadrunner is going to win. Right now, Roadrunner's in 5th. Lage is in 7th. He's got 1 lap to make up 2 places.
Is that even possible?
There you go, Khan Zermatt, Lage's teammate, the only person separating the two of them.
Is it possible? Can he do it?
If it is possible, you know, it's one of those defining moments. If he can pull this out of the bag, move himself from 7th to 5th in 1 lap, then that's a champion's drive right there. That's one that earns you that massive, massive prize.
Well, folks, we're getting there. This is it. This is where legends are made. Roadrunner is going to be in 5th. The story here is certainly between Roadrunner and Lage. Lage's in 7th. His teammate, Zermatt, right in front of him. He's gained on him. He was really far back, a considerable distance. He's almost there. Question is though, he just doesn't have enough track to do it?
You know, Lage is one of those drivers you just know will pull it out in the tournament context. He'll come here and be able to just drive faster than he can at home, drive better. It's the pressure that fuels him. You know, the last lap of this competition, there's no more pressure than this, and you can just see he's squeezing every single 100 out of that 919.
Yeah, he's pretty much pushing his cars to its limit as much as he possibly could. But we do got to talk about what's going on at the front of the pack as well. Lightning is going to be in that 1st place position. He's been holding it down. While it has been a lot of pressure applied to him, he's been able to fend off Virus and Rossi. He has himself a little bit of a lead there as well. You can see bottom left of your screen. He's built up that lead, and he's continuing to add on to it. Lightning gets a win here. I wonder what that means for the points as well. I hope we can get clarification on that before the race ends, but if not, that's perfectly fine, because at the end of the day, it will all come down to the adjudication. I'm sure that there was something afoot there, because so many things occurred in that one instance. Roadrunner spun out, Lage went all the way back, there were bumps in the front. Really interested to see what that result would be.
There we go though, the whole pack tumbling out of the Porsche curbs there, taking their way back towards these final few corners. This looks like it could be in the bag.
Could be, potentially. And here we go, final stretch now. 1, 2, 3, 4, all in order for the Forza Racing Championship. And Lightning will end in 1st, Virus 2nd, Box 3rd. Roadrunner will get 4th. Lage could not make it up. He tried, but he could not succeed. He ends in 6th. Rossi with 7th. GDC Chris 9th. Amarth 10th. Kaiserwolf 11th. Force 1 12th. But it all comes down to the adjudication on the Gfinity side. The marshals will look at this one. They have Race Boy in the back as well. He's been assisting. We don't know what the final result will be here, folks. Despite the provisional result, there's Ricky Ricardo would once say, and I Love Lucy, Yoga se explaina todo.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm just realizing how tense that race was. That was unbelievable. I have a bit of tape here. It tells me where to sit. I've just been like tearing at it throughout the whole race, just like staring at the screen. That was really that was something else. What a way to end that off. I agree with you. I think the marshals will be having a very close look at that race.
Not only is this about the money, but it's about going out into the podium in Le Mans, right next to icons of professional motorsports, to be able to raise that trophy over your head. There's so much on the line here. For a lot of these drivers, this is a dream come true, a life-changing experience. But for now, let's go ahead and take a look at some of the Michelin moments here, because, my lordy, there were a lot of them.
There certainly were. There it was, lightning, bullying Lage a little bit there through the first turns. And that developed very quickly. I think it was that pressure that made Lage a bit too insistent.
Did it look like Roadrunner got tapped? I don't know. I don't think he did.
It's tough to tell from that angle, isn't it? It looked like a little bit of a pit maneuver from Lage, touching the rear and flicking him around. Not purposeful.
But we've seen Lage, you know, maneuver around the side and force Roadrunner and pretty much anyone who's been in front of him to make those mistakes. So, I don't know. And you can see a couple of the drivers there discussing the final results. They don't quite know. Same for us as well. We're pretty much just as in the dark as anyone else here, as the marshals on the Gfinity side go through the adjudication process to confirm who is the Season 3 Forza Racing Championship winner.
Such tension, and as you say, you know, what an incredible prize to go to that podium. You know, you can count on it that every single driver here, it's their heroes that stood there, you know, and taken the Le Mans winning prizes, who've stood on that ground, on those steps, and to be able to go up there and join them in this new class running at Le Mans,
yeah,
that's a prize like no other.
This is not only has this been an incredibly humbling experience for everyone involved, from, you know, production, talent, players, but it's also been a true test of skill for the drivers. You know, you talk about this endurance race that they've had to, you know, go through. I mean, at this point, right, it's done. You can just breathe. It's over. You did everything you possibly could. This is it.
You can say that, but, you know,
stop messing with the tape. You need the tape for the marks.
I'm so tense.
All right, let's take a look at the provisional results here while Ali collects himself for the moment. So Lightning ended up in first place. Keep in mind, this is provisional. This is not the final result. We will get the final result in a little while. Lightning first. Virus second. Box third. Box, good job from him. Roadrunner ends out in fourth. Now remember, Lage and Roadrunner, 1 point separated them. With Roadrunner, if he establishes himself in that fourth position, manages to net 12 points, that gives him 72 points. I don't know. I'm not even going to try and do the math here. I'm not very smart. I grew up in the Bronx, and you know, the Bronx education system is just not very good. So they're smarter people.
I can do math on like anti-roll bars on Forza. You know, I can do that. This stuff.
It's funny because any attempt I make to do some math, my wife is in the crowd right there, and she shakes her head and she says, "Why are you doing this? Stop trying to do your maths in front of everyone. You're embarrassing yourself." So, you know, sometimes you just gotta listen to your wife.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly.
Oh man! All right.
It's all right. They'll come back. They'll come back with the, you know, with the stewards report and with all that stuff for us.
Yeah, it's getting hot in here, by the way. I don't know. There's a lot of bodies in here. Also, it's getting hot around. It's going to be like 90 degrees in France. Definitely. I'm too fat. I can't deal with this heat. Let's take a look at the trivia here. Get a little lightheartedness going on while we await the final results. But which Formula One driver won the 2005 24-hour of Le Mans race? Vote now on Mixer, if you happen to be there. Would it be Kamui Kobayashi, Fernando Alonso, Nico Hülkenberg,
Pretty good.
and Max Verstappen?
Yeah,
did I get that?
Yeah, no, I live in the Netherlands. You know, the myth of Max Verstappen. He's the man.
Yeah. So, and just, you know, throwing it out there, if you happen to use Wikipedia, you're cheating. So, you know, don't be that guy. No one likes that guy, okay? They should have just put your name there to see if anyone, like, noticed.
Just on Wikipedia. I was just
All right, guys, don't go anywhere. We know that you want to know the final results. Who came out on top for the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals? We'll have that and so much more after this. Welcome back, everyone, to the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals, live from Le Mans, France. Golden Boy here, along with Ali Trank. We're bringing you the results. We're waiting, you know, playing the waiting game right now to see who came out on top. It's very funny because I've done a lot of different games in my career, and typically, you know, when it's over, oh, he won, yay, it's done. Not how it is in Forza. The real suspense is in the final result. The adjudication process.
Exactly. The marshals have to make sure that all the drivers have been keeping within the limits of the track, keeping within the limits of aggression as well when they're fighting with one another. You know, there's a race etiquette, and there's a trust that all these drivers have with each other. The top drivers in the game, they all trust and know how to race with one another. But at the same time, it has to be enforced.
Yeah, there is also etiquette in trivia answering as well, folks. Don't use Wikipedia. And it's going to be Nico Hulkenberg is the winner of the 2015 24-hour Le Mans race. Awesome.
Yeah, a fantastic performance from him. Yeah, I did. You know, I knew all of them.
I know every answer.
I know every answer.
He's so
Just
smart.
Ask me anything.
Ali's so smart.
He's so smart.
Oh man! All right. So I heard that we have Brian over on the side there to talk about the final results. Brian, what's going on?
Yeah, while we wait for the final results, I thought we'd check in with our painters again. We saw a little bit earlier, we were talking to Jason and Robin about the liveries that they're creating right here live at the Season 3 Finals. I thought we'd check in, see how their progress is going. Jason, you said this car started out one way and is ending up another way. Tell me about that.
Yeah, like quite often when I create a design, I have an idea in my mind, but then, I mean, being here, things change. I mean, you throw some shapes on the car, you think it looks right. I mean, you know, you try a few more things, and then who knows where it's going to go. That's kind of fun, right?
Yeah, it's part of the fun. That's exactly right. Now, it looks like you've definitely got a 24 Hours of Le Mans theme here going. Is this a logo you created yourself?
So, to get the colours behind the 24 Hours font, okay, I had to create a mask outside of font, if you know what I mean, so that I could put shapes and colours behind it. So basically I can switch it up. If I need to change the colours, I can or change the shapes or put some shading behind there. That makes it a lot easier, rather than just trying to having like a fixed solid font.
You doing this is, me trying to do this would be like Golden Boy trying to do math. It's just not, I don't understand things like you guys have a way of doing things that are amazing. But this car is looking great, and this is going to be sent out to the Forza community that are watching on Mixer and Twitch. Make sure you link that account if you haven't already. And Jason, one last question before we move over to Robin. How far away do you think you are from completion? How many more hours do you have left on this car?
Oh, I think a couple more, you know. Maybe when I get back home, put some music on, concentrate, you know, just let it flow, you know.
And finally, where can people find you? Where can they find you on Twitter and elsewhere?
Yeah, so people can find me on Twitter at Forza Livery Guy. I also stream on Twitch and Mixer as well occasionally. My gamer tag is Forza Livery Guys. It's Forza Livery Guy, just everywhere.
Love it. The branding, the nice branding. Well done. Cool. Thank you. Now let's go over to Robin. Robin's over here as well. She's working on her car. An amazing, also 24-hour Le Mans theme, but very different look. Robin, how's your progress going so far?
Good. I think we're about done.
Would you consider this complete, or are you still working on it?
No, we're complete at this point.
This is it, huh?
Yep, this is the one you'll be getting.
So what aspect of this car, I think I know the answer to this, but what aspect of this car took the most time for you?
Oh, definitely the driver and the vehicle in the center. So that took quite a bit of time and planning ahead of time.
Yeah, it's interesting to hear Jason sort of flies off the cuff, but you put a lot of effort, sort of prep work before you do a car like this, right?
That's correct. Often I do a drawing first on paper so that I have some sort of a reference to create my design from.
And how many layers is this approximately, like on the side, or maybe the total car?
Well, right now we're at 1,728 on one side. So.
That's all you need, 1,700 layers, and you can make something that looks exactly like this. All right, thank you, Robin. That's awesome. It looks amazing. This car is basically ready to go. It's one of the cars we'll be sending out to people watching on Twitch and Mixer. Amazing work here, guys, back at the desk. They are incredible painters. I hope you enjoyed it.
1,700 layers. Wow, imagine striding gum with 1,700 layers, you know? You know, these are all the things I'm thinking about with layers. What if you walked outside and you had 1,700 layers in Le Mans? How would you feel?
Yeah, hot.
You actually, I don't even think you'd be able to walk. I think you just kind of like march around.
But I mean, that's amazing, isn't it? You know, they're all made of basic shapes. Yeah. So just like you're saying with drawing like your stick man, you know, you take the little circle, but it's just lots and lots of that. Yeah. And it just comes out as, amazing.
Yeah, well, you know who is 1,700 layers of awesome? Scott Cole. Turns out he's over on the sidelines there with Rossi. Scott, talk to me.
Well, it's been a heck of a last race here, and of course you were sitting by Roadrunner. Roadrunner was one of the guys that is in question if he's actually won this thing or not. Cool thing he just said to me, I don't know if he told you, if he does win, he wants you up on the podium with him right outside on Le Mans. What do you think about that?
I think that'd be a really awesome experience. I mean, like going to the Le Mans in the first place, the most famous race, like on the calendar, it is such an achievement, and also it's like, well, the 24-hour race in itself, like coming to this track, I mean, it's something completely different. I mean, like for example, you might go to one of your local racetracks or something like that and watch the racing. That's nothing compared to the noises at this track. All the GT cars, the LMP cars, everything is just so exciting to watch, especially at the start. The start's just completely amazing.
What would you tell the folks watching at home thinking, man, I would love to get involved in some of this Forza Esports? What's your experience been like this week?
Well, it's been pretty smooth. It's probably the best performance I've done in the esports challenge so far. I didn't really expect to come this far. I mean, I was pretty surprised myself. Like in the semi-finals, like I didn't expect, like in one of the races, managed to climb from like 12th to 5th and managed to stay up at the top for quite some time and get that consistency for the points to get into the finals today.
Well, you were talking a little bit over here about where you might finish. We know they're still talking about who's going to win this thing. Where do you think you ended up on the leaderboard?
Well, I'm not entirely sure yet, due to the final race results being confirmed. Some penalties may be given out, some not, but I probably reckon roughly about top 6 maybe, roughly top 7.
Would you be happy with that? Is that a success?
Oh yeah, definitely, because it's like it's the best I've done like in an esports challenge, and I'm pretty impressed with that myself. Like the luck I had 2 months ago, didn't have so good luck, but today has been pretty amazing, amazing experience.
On a lighter note, my man Golden Boy is headed to your home country, Scotland, after this. Give him a real quick thing that he should do when he hits your home.
Wear a kilt.
All right, you heard it here. He's full of racing knowledge. He's also full of travel tips, my man Rossi.
Well, you know, that sucks. I didn't bring a coat, so, you know, I'm kind of screwed then. All right, well, thanks, honey. Thanks for we should have planned this properly and gotten the darn coat. You know, she was the one who planned this trip.
I think it's a kilt, not a coat.
Oh, he said kilt?
Kilt.
Oh,
yeah.
he said, oh,
kilt.
okay, I was about to say,
yeah.
oh, dear God.
Did
Okay,
you pack your
I have
kilt?
tons of kilts.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm totally ready for that, man. I have a bunch of those. You kidding me? If there's one thing real men wear skirts, okay? There you go. That's if anyone knows that WWE reference, tweet me. Gotcha. You may get a cookie. I don't know. In any case, though, guys, I mean, it was good to hear from Rossi in that one. What a guy.
It's brilliant. I'm so happy for him. He made it to the final here, pushed it all this way through all those races, and got himself a result that he's proud of, and and I think he absolutely deserves and ought to be very proud of. Brilliant to see him up there.
Yeah, really cool stuff indeed. Scott's not done yet though. He's got another interview going on the side. Scott, who you have?
I know everybody wants to think about who's going to win this thing, but got my man here, Force One, 17 years old, from New Jersey. Not only do you race in Forza, but you also race in real life. And tell me about the karting experience.
Karting's kind of cool. It's somewhat similar to Forza with a really aggressive style of racing, but I love it a lot just because of the parallels between this and that.
I was asking you where you think you're going to finish on the leaderboard. You said dead last. Is that disappointing, or are you happy to be racing on a Sunday?
I mean, in a way, it's pretty impressive to be here because I've been doing this for only a few years, and some of these guys have been here for 10 or more. But at the same time, once you're here, you want to be competitive and do well. So, I mean, finishing last is never fun.
Well, we saw some amazing racing out here, but take me in the mind of just your experience, the whole racetrack, coming over from America, the camps, meeting all the other drivers in the Forza. What was that like?
I mean, it was overwhelming at first. It's a completely new environment, and it's something that you're not used to. I mean, the language and everything is different here, but I think the craziest part of coming was to meet all the people that you've been racing against for such a long time, and to put a face to people's names. It was pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. This community is awesome. They're coming together, and it's nothing like, you know it, Golden Boy, there's nothing like when you finally get to a live event and get to meet those folks that you've been battling with all season long.
I couldn't agree more, man. That is one of the things that makes esports incredible. We do so much of our work online, and then to be able to come to an atmosphere like this, hang out with people who you consider friends, and sometimes you only met them, you only know their voice, you only know how they race on the track or how they play in the game that you play. There's nothing like it, man. It's the best experience.
It's fantastic. We've all been staying in this big campsite here within the circuit bounds, and there are times when you sort of walk along and you'll close your eyes and it's like you're in a very rowdy Xbox Live party.
Yeah.
It's like, I recognize, that's who you are, of course it is, it's been a great experience, and really nice to bring everyone together.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes what I do when I'm in an atmosphere like this, I like to just walk outside, look up, and just think about where I am, right? Think about where I am, and in this instance, we're in Le Mans, one of the greatest, most legendary races in the world. And here's the thing, the winner of this competition will join some of the greatest drivers, race car drivers in the world on the podium for the first time ever. Motorsports and esports side by side with one another. Absolutely thrilling. And guys, I know you want to know the results. We do as well. When we come back, hopefully we'll have those results for you. So much more to come. My goodness, this has been quite the experience thus far. Don't go anywhere, though. The final results for the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals, live from Le Mans, France, presented by Porsche, will be coming up. See you on the other side.
Guys, I'm here in Los Angeles at the Peterson Automotive Museum. I have found the Forza Motorsport racing experience, and I'm joined here with Adam Langsgaard, who's the Chief Marketing Officer here. This is a great room. I love what you have going on here.
Yeah, it's pretty special, as a matter of fact. I think we got really lucky when we made a connection with Microsoft Xbox and Forza, that we were able to bring this racing experience into a building. How do you articulate the ability to experience a museum, but be a little bit different and give people a sense of, okay, here you can see some real race cars, but now you can kind of get behind the wheel as well. So we will be celebrating Le Mans here. We'll be piping in a live stream. We'll be running a competition in this gallery all day long.
Well, Adam, I am so excited to check out the museum myself. Tell me a little bit about your favorite part of the place.
Oh wow, there are so many favorites, as a matter of fact, but I have to say, from top to bottom, we pretty much have something for everybody. I'll tell you right now, we have an exhibit called Seeing Red, which is a collection of some of the finest Ferraris you will ever see, especially all in one room. I don't know how many hundreds of millions of dollars that this particular exhibit is worth when you walk into that room. It's amazing. There's so much here for people to enjoy. Considering you have a little Porsche in your blood, you definitely have to check out the Le Mans car that we have. That car has actually race Le Mans.
Okay.
And there are a couple of gems in the vault I'll just mention right now. Little things that you don't often see.
Okay. I got to talk to the right people
You do
to
have
get
to
me
talk to
down
the
there
right
because
people,
that's
yes.
a top secret
Yes.
area. Let's go check out some cars. So I found some cars. I'm here at the Seeing Red exhibit with Jason Hartwig, who heads up the education department here.
So the purpose of this exhibit, of course, is to emphasize the 70th anniversary of Ferrari and the nature of this room. We've had a lot of single color exhibits, so they're all red. That's the Seeing Red title. This is the 1965 Ferrari 250 Le Mans. This particular one was raced by the NART, which is the North American Racing Team, and actually won in 1965, closing up a 6-year run that Ferrari had in the early 60s.
Wow, so amazing. Well, let's see what else you have in here.
So it kind of all gets started with this right here. This is a 1949 Ferrari 166 MM. It won Le Mans in 1949. The driver at the time was Luigi Canetti. He actually thought he could make the whole race. He made it a little bit over 23 hours before he had to cede a little bit of his last time. He also in this car won the Mille Miglia, and another Ferrari driver driving a different 166 won the Targa Floria. It's the one time in history someone won all 3 of those famous races.
Super
So
cool.
before the era of the 250s, Ferrari had already started making their name at Le Mans. Of course, when people think of Ferrari Le Mans, a lot of people think of one of the most famous Ferrari models out there, the 250 GTO. This is a 1963 GTO. It ran in Le Mans that year. It won its class. It was all part of that early 60s dynasty that Ferrari seemed to have, winning 6 in a row, until eventually Ford with their GT40 would steal the crown in 1966.
Super cool. Well, let's go check out what else we have. So Jason, this is pretty familiar to racers and fans alike, but tell me why this one is special.
Well, as we had been talking about earlier, Ferrari had dominated Le Mans in the early 60s and lost that title in 1966 to Ford with their GT40. 67 rolls around, Ford's there to defend their title, and 2 American racers, Dan Gurney and AJ Foyt, actually win Ford's second victory in a row. On the victory podium, Dan Gurney was handed this double magnum of champagne and somewhat spontaneously decided instead of just holding it up, he popped the cork and began spraying it upon his fellow drivers, on Henry Ford, on Carroll Shelby, and a lot of the people involved in the team, thus starting a racing tradition that continues to this day.
Wow, that is super cool. I've actually never heard that story, and that's significant also for us this weekend because the winner of the Forza Racing Championship this weekend at Le Mans is going to stand on the podium and celebrate in a similar fashion. So I spotted this earlier, which I love, this Michelin slider, and I love it because it kind of ties in Porsche's connection between their road cars and their racing program. Of course, they're always so intertwined, but it's kind of cool to see the RSR here in the front and the race tires, and then you move it forward, and of course you've got the Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, which we have on all the GT3 RSs at the Porsche Experience Center in Atlanta. So I'm familiar with those, and of course I have to drool over the RSR here, which I love. This is pretty cool.
So if you like Porsches, I have one to show you here, and it actually gets at that relationship between the road and the race cars. In the mid-90s, there was kind of a resurgence in international motorsports and sport car racing, and you had cars that were basically road-going cars that were converted to racing. Porsche took a different tact here with the 1997 911 GT1. They developed it as a racer and then converted it into a road-going car, the Strassen version.
Well, I understand that there are a few special Porsches downstairs in the vault. Can you take me there?
We may be able to find a couple. Walk this way.
Tell me a little bit about this special space.
This is the vault of the Petersen. Beyond the exhibit space we have upstairs, we have a downstairs area that, depending on how you want to count it, has anywhere from 130 to close to 200 cars. Some of it we allow public tours of, but other parts of it are a little bit more exclusive that only a few people get to see.
And I know that we have some awesome Porsches behind us.
So when you look at both of these, you may think you recognize them because they look very similar to Porsches we know, but they each have a somewhat unique story. This one itself everyone would look at and say, hey, it's a Porsche 356, which notorious because of being the first actual production Porsche. This one, though, is actually a Porsche Continental. However, Ford wasn't happy with that name because of the Lincoln Continental. Tried to block Porsche from using that name. Porsche renamed it the Porsche European and then rapidly went back and just said, hey, it's a 356. The red one here, you look at and say, oh gosh, I know this one. It is, of course, a 911, and I say, close. It's actually a 901. Back in the 1920s, Peugeot had trademarked every 3-digit number that had 0 in the middle. Here again, the lawyers get involved, so Porsche was forced once again to rename the car, and it becomes one of the most famous cars of all time.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jason, so much for letting us see these cars, for telling us about them. I want to stay here. I'll definitely be back soon. You guys are so spoiled to see these cars, and I hope you love them just as much as I do.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Forza Racing Championship Season 3 Grand Finals, live from Le Mans, France. Golden Boy and Ali here. And we want to keep that suspense building. We know that you want to know who is the winner of Season 3. But first, let's talk about the adjudication process. Ali, any thoughts you have here on what we could see?
Yeah, it could be anything here. I mean, we've got to check all the people who've driven properly within the track limits, but they've also observed the rules of race etiquette when they're passing each other and when they're battling with one another. It's very, very important. We saw a little bit of bumping and grinding, right? A little bit of this stuff happening in the previous race, and so it's hard to know that everyone's clear and safe and through.
Yeah.
And this is what all the tension has been about.
Yeah, well, let's go ahead and send it over to Brian and Raceboy to kind of break things down and give us some insight into the process here, guys.
Boy, we are teasing this well. We are one step closer to finding the final results. Wanted to chat with Evan really quick because, yes, there was a couple of big incidents in that race. And Evan, what did you guys see in the booth?
Yes, we watched over all the incidents lots and lots of times. What we saw was, as you saw on the stream, Lage ended up spinning out Roadrunner. What we saw really closely, we watched it at least, I'd say 20, 25 times. Lage barely tapped the back end of Roadrunner on the left side, which turned into Roadrunner spinning out and unfortunately losing his position. And then further down the road, when they were going 3 wide on the straightaway, the inside car twitched to the left, which caused another major accident.
All right, so the result Evan was telling me before this incident began is that there are no penalties. So the results that we saw, well, I'll leave it to you guys on the desk. Well, sorry, hold on, wait a...
There were penalties, but they didn't end up affecting the race or the final results.
Okay, there you go. So there were penalties, but the results are the results, guys.
The results are the results. Oh boy, here we go. Time to find out. I'm excited. Who is the winner of Season 3 for the Forza Racing Championship? Scott, take it away.
The moment that you've finally been waiting for. You've been so very patient. We got your top 3 for the podium. It was really close. That's all I can tell you. It was really close. 3rd place is the man from North Carolina, Lightning. Congratulations, Lightning. Now the real drama begins. Who will be first? Who will be second? Will it be Roadrunner, or will it be the man from France, Lage? And your 2nd place driver here in Season 3 Championship is Lage. And that means your champion here in Le Mans is no other than Roadrunner. He's the champion, guys. Back to you for the final results.
Wow, guys, let's put our hands together one more time for the champions. Well, I mean, seriously, this was absurd. The endurance that they had to go through, not only the 3 that are on the podium, but all 66 drivers that participated in this competition. It doesn't get any more challenging than this. A completely different format, something that I've never seen before in my entire career. A true endurance challenge in esports. Wow, I can't believe it.
Just been classed up and down the field, hasn't there? Great drives for the very, very front-running people, the winners, but also for people in the mid-pack and people who didn't make it into the final round. I mean, just incredible stuff.
I wonder, do we have the leaderboard available? Because I do want to take a look at that. So let's jump into that, because I want to see what the results, the point total is. So this was the grand finals. Virus got hit with a 5-second penalty, which dropped him down. Lage actually got the 5-second penalty, which gave him 1 point. 1 point is all he earned in this one, but I care about the total.
Super tough, isn't it? Super tough. It was, yeah. That crash, that slide between Lage and Roadrunner that we saw, that was the drama, and that was all this kind of very messy leaderboard that we're looking at there. It's all a result of that. Really mad.
Let's go ahead and take a look at the final standings, and oh my goodness, 2 points separated Lightning and Lage from victory. Roadrunner gets 15, nets himself 76. Box and Chris with 40 each. Wow.
Tied for fourth, and they deserve it. Both of those drivers, Box and Chris, have driven just stunningly. They're moving through the pack this week. Just incredible stuff, defending as well. I would say they're both just racers through and through. Those who have really proven it. The 3 at the front though, alien pace. AMS Roadrunner right there, Alien Motorsport Roadrunner right, just in another world.
And really, when you think about it, if you look at the final standings there, the one that really threw everyone off was Nürburgring with the wet option. That was the one that really changed the whole storyline in this entire competition, Ali.
It's where he found his momentum, right? Just the wet, he had that one line, cutting it between those puddles, just such accuracy under massive pressure as well. And that was where Roadrunner really started to pick up, and it started to look like, hold on, this guy can't just challenge in one race. He might be able to bring this.
Indeed, and now I want to hear from the man himself, your Season 3 champion, Roadrunner. Scott has him on the side. Take it away.
Thanks so much, gentlemen, here with the champ. In your wildest dreams, when you were headed to Le Mans, did you ever think you were going to be the champ?
Well, definitely not. This is definitely something what I wasn't expecting. Just getting to the final was all I was aiming for, but to win was just something, just wasn't expecting it.
Some amazing drivers out here, not only in the final of 12, but the 24 semifinals, the 66 overall drivers we had. But Lage and Lightning, you were up there battling with them, and did you ever think, like, I can take down Lage and Lightning?
I know I had the pace, but a lot of people know me for spectacularly crashing. So it was just consistency that I needed, and there was a few tracks, some of them had the edge, but incidents happen, and fortunately I was able to get on top.
Well, you guys are going to get the opportunity to be on the real podium about 3:30 among all the other folks. That we have a 5th car class here at Le Mans. It is esports endurance. You endured through it. Who's going to be the 2 guys that's going to be up there with you on the podium?
2 guys, my fellow teammate, EMS Supreme, and GSR Rossi, who's helped me a lot throughout this championship.
Yeah, he was actually sitting next to you for most of the final, for all the final. Well, you got probably some folks watching at home. You're the champ. You got any shout-outs?
Mainly to, obviously, family, friends, and a lot of the drivers. They give a lot of support, and I just want to say thank you.
Like a lot of the folks in this Forza Racing Championship, Alex and Ali, humble champion here, your Season 3 winner, Roadrunner.
We got a new king of the mountain. His name's Roadrunner. I'm so excited for him, man. He's just been phenomenal throughout this whole competition. When I had that chance to call those games in the middle of the semifinal 2, that was just like seeing him really challenge and contend the way that he did. I mean, you knew he had a bright future. You knew that something was going to happen. My goodness, to see him just throw a wrench into the whole system, everything, all the graphics, all the trailers, everything was, will Lightning strike twice or will Lage get his revenge? Nope, Roadrunner. That's the storyline, people. Unbelievable.
Brilliant. And we saw him, in the qualifying rounds, not doing too much work. That was the brilliant thing about him. Coming in 3rd, 4th, just coming back, getting the results he needed, pushing through. It's only when the final came along that he starts getting those incredible results, that momentum that he needed. Brilliant.
Ali, you've been a part of the Forza community for such a long time, and this has really become a lifestyle for you. What has this experience been like, from being a contender to becoming a caster to being here in Le Mans? Like, I can only imagine for you, it's like a little emotional.
Yeah, I mean, it's been surreal. I think seeing esport racing elevating itself to this level, through Forza especially, is knockout. I think it's going to be something very special to see those people standing on the podium at Le Mans, which I think is completely deserved. I think as much time goes into learning how to do this, as much competition. The cars might be virtual, but the racing's real, right?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about.
That's awesome stuff, man. For me, it's been an incredible experience. I've had such a blast just being honored to be a part of this, to be a part of history. History has been made here in Le Mans. For the first time ever, esports champions will be alongside motorsports champions on the podium here in France. What a legendary time it has been for all of us here, but that's not it. The Forza Racing Championship will continue on. This is only the beginning for Forza Esports, and I'm so glad that all of you guys joined us at home and also here in Le Mans to enjoy all the action. For myself, Ali, for Melish, Scott Cole, Shannon, the rest of the crew, everyone at Turn 10, everyone at Atomic Infotech and Encompass, so on and so forth, it has been a mind-blowing experience. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.